when we last left off, our intrepid heroes finally made it to Aaron City, whereupon they spent some time getting their nice clothes in order and making themselves presentable, before heading up to the royal palace, where they finally met Queen Arianne Erendite, who was in the middle of holding court for some of the city's leaders, who were arguing about the implications of a spree of murders that have occurred throughout the city, which Warden Myri Keir of the Tome Knights believes to be the work of magic. Both Keir and Grand Sage McLowry, the head of the local Mages Guild, have asked the party to come stop by come morning to help them deal with the local magic issues, let's say. Meanwhile, Zanza met his sister August at the little inn she runs, along with several new sisters that he had not yet met, and eventually made his way to the palace, where he has met back up with Merisiel so that he may make his case to the Queen for the Great Foxby Inquisition. Yes, and also his future sisters that came out of Jeffrey's magnificent dick.
All hail God King Jeffrey.
Zanza's ready in anticipation.
Sweet scale bunnies.
Oh boy. So let's hop back in with Zanza and Mary. Move some tokens around here on the old palace map. Do 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 do.
Apparently I'm just simply forbidden to use Google Chrome now with Roll20.
Oh no.
It's decided that it never wants to work with Roll20 ever again until it decides it's fine again.
Yep,
So,
that's
on to Firefox.
So Sundari, Chrome.
It does that. It has its temper tantrums. It's a big fucking baby.
Chrome is a big fucking baby.
I moved to Firefox exclusively for set for Roll20. It handles that shit so much better.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Also having issues with Chrome on Roll20, so I might have to make the switch again.
I'm not. What's wrong with you all?
I'm not
Chrome.
Yeah, like I've been having this on Firefox for literal years.
For some reason, Chrome just doesn't like Roll20 sometimes, and just lags like a motherfucker.
And only some of the times. For now, I have like a whole bunch of tabs open, and I'm fine with Roll20 at the moment. So I don't know.
Yeah, 150 tabs and Roll20 on Firefox. That shit's stable.
Okay, I don't have 150 tabs open. Jesus fuck.
That is too much even for me.
No, seriously, for Getty and I, that's like nothing.
I mean, it's just I couldn't personally keep track of all of that shit.
Yeah,
Keeping track of it's another matter.
I try to stop myself
Actually,
around like
that's not
30
bad.
or 40 tabs. Anyway, so a couple hours
Monday,
after
Pete?
Zanza arrives, you are finally granted audience with the Queen. The other various courtiers native to the structure have all fled, and you have more or less a private audience. There are a few guards and a couple of knights standing around nearby. But the Queen sits upon her throne, and Goat Mom has your back.
Before we enter in, Zanza is going to nervously ask Mercia what would be the proper way to address the Queen, because it's not his highness, because he's not really official citizen here.
Yes, you are. You live here. You were born here. So, yes.
Wait, she whole queen of the land, or just this just this castle? I was
That
confused.
is the queen or empress or whatever. She is the one who rules the entire, like, nation.
So she still is my queen. All right.
From, like, to the top, from Sphera, between, all the land between Sphera and down to the southern area of Pergolith, and everything in between. That is all one country, and that is the country we are in. You were born here. She is your queen.
All right. All right.
Well, first, you're going to want to be very polite. As polite as you know how to be. You want to, when you enter, you will go to the stairs where beneath the throne, and you will either kneel or bow deeply out of respect for her and her position. And when she asks you the purpose of of the audience, you will explain why you were here.
Zanza, you see Zanza just like writing down little notes, furiously scribbling.
Okay.
All
I
right.
will be there to help you if you need it.
All right. So be polite. Go over to the stairs. Kneel. Introduce myself. Address her as my queen. Is there anything else?
Bottom of the stairs, not the top. The bottom. It's a very big difference.
Oh, right. All right. Well, I suppose I fought in arenas before. What's going to court compared?
Address her as Your Majesty would be good too. That is what, or my queen.
My queen. I already have a goddess. I can't use that.
No, that would be very inappropriate. Entirely the wrong title.
Zanza, you may see Zanza sweating.
It's okay. Just relax.
How can I relax? The whole of the Foxfeet Inquisition rests on this meeting. If I screw this up, I may never even have it started.
Well, I'll be there to help you, but it is her decision.
I feel like the first time I've been pushed in.
Stage anyway.
I feel like it's the first time I've been pushed into the arena.
It's fine.
All right. Val, introduce
Your pat on the
yourself.
shoulder.
Address as my queen. Got it all.
All right, now or never. Oh.
All right. So Zanza will enter in, semi-stiff-leggedly walk up to the stairs, not the top, and he will bow in front of the queen and go, "Good day, my queen. I am Zanza, Forsaken Ilgade, and Knight of the Gale."
She cocks an eyebrow. Forsaken Ilgade.
Self-forsaken. I mean, there was a whole issue where I was first not underperforming in my ventures, so I'd throw away my name. But I meant I was going to get it back. I have it now, and he was the Knight of Glory, and I'm making a mess of this introduction, aren't I?
She chuckles slightly and rolls her hand to gesture you to go on.
The point is, even though I currently do not have my name, I'm under very honorable employment serving the land and helping people. I've come to you today with a request to continue doing so.
Very well, Zanza, formerly of House Ilgade. What would you have of the royal household?
Well, do you know of the necromancer threat that runs rampant in the land?
It has come to my attention, yes.
I wish to be given official permission to deal with this threat. You see, my queen, I have a plan. I want to start the Foxfeet Inquisition against these necromancers.
The Foxby Inquisition.
Yes. Have you heard of the creatures?
I have indeed, though you don't particularly look like a Foxbee, and judging by your attire, you're no inquisitor.
No, of course not. I can't pretend that I have the official capacity to call myself that. Another reason why I'm here. But I do have thoughts about this. Reasons why I choose the Foxbees. Reasons why I think I should be a part of the Foxbee Inquisition, but maybe not necessarily its figurehead.
All right, go on.
Well, to say the least about magic, I think knowing coming as somebody who has none, I know how confusing scary it can be. It is to a thing without those without the gift. That fear turns to malice, and malice goes against people who are innocent.
That it does. And I've heard more and more troubling reports of magic users being persecuted out in the forests beyond the capital. Also, DC, I'll move your mic away from your face a little bit.
Ah, this moon mic, I swear. I actually have this on my desk.
I believe you.
It's like it's not even on my neck. God damn it. Okay.
Perfect.
Zanza will look around and see if he has the attention of anybody.
Yeah, the various Lion Knights in there all are watching you with varying degrees of wariness, and the two Lord Knights standing in the back of the throne room are certainly watching with some interest.
Well, I've heard the stories of the Foxbees. If even a tenth of those stories are true, then they're what you need for this Inquisition. What you need are hearts that are pure, hearts that hold no quarter for discrimination or hate.
Well, that does sound mighty fine, and so what is it of me you desire? I'm afraid I'm not the queen of the Foxbees. They keep their own counsel.
Honestly, what I'm about to propose to you is a long shot, but I wish that you hear me through to the end.
She gestures you on.
You see, while I don't want to be so presumptuous as I know nothing of politics, I am a gladiator and know something about getting the crowd on your side. Who wins is a statement in and of itself. If an outside party not sanctioned by someone who supports the magics ends the necromancers, then the lines between good magic and bad magic are never drawn. People go on hating and distrusting the mages and nothing ever gets solved. But you can't have the mages take care of the clandestine evil through clandestine means. The battle of necromancy must be clear, cut, and public, executed by a party who is supported by both the mages and the commoners. Zen's looking up to see if he has the queen's attention.
You do, but she certainly looks more confused than anything.
Well, you see, the plan is simple. I first want to start with an act of goodwill within the city, but I haven't really found anything that I can possibly help contribute to.
Well, I can help you with that.
Zanza perks.
My dear not quite Lord Zanza, the city's been plagued with murders. Perhaps if you were to apprehend whoever is behind this, the people of the city would doubtless flock to you as a hero.
Murders? I mean, of course I would step in to help with this, but isn't that something for the city guard?
I'm afraid the city guard are more a blunt force instrument than investigators.
What makes this murderer so special? Do they have a high body count? Or is it somehow something related to their means?
Both. They've killed nearly a dozen noblemen, and, according to our trustworthy tome knights, they've all been killed with magic.
A magic murderer? Has that caused tension within the town?
You could say that. I suppose you weren't here with the rest of your friends when the leader of the Tome Knights and Briarmount nearly cut each other's throats out here in the court.
That doesn't sound good at all. Wait. Wait! Zanza looks back to Merisiel and then back to the queen. It's just like, don't you see, my queen? This is perfect.
I thought so as well.
Merisiel, I'm going to need you for this.
Of course, Zanza.
See, this is what I'm thinking about. Your daughter, who is not only a mage but royalty, goes out and finds the supposed magical killer. She captures him and then brings them back alive to denounce their evils in a public execution. Once then, we can use that momentum to launch the Foxby Inquisition. Even if it's not the Foxby Inquisition and it's just Merisiel and our crew sent out to go help deal with the necromancers, at that point we should have public support.
Whatever.
And what do you think about this, Merisiel?
I think Zanza has a very noble heart and very noble intentions.
But what about you if you want to be involved in this? I can think
Of course, I would like to be involved in this and stop this person from committing any more murders and bring them to justice.
Well, then it's settled then. Zanza, formerly of House Ilgade, I charge you with apprehending this murderer. Do not disappoint us. If you succeed, then this inquisition you so desire will be given official sanction. I wish you the best of luck.
we will not fail, not just for the town, but for the land as a whole.
By the way, Zanza,
Yo.
you misspoke just a little bit. Just a little bit. One little error. This is my... this is not my mother. This is my niece.
Yeah, they were telling me in chat. I could have swore you were like one of the lower daughters, and that was the reason why you had no claim to the crown. Or am I thinking of Kreshia?
Oh no!
You're thinking Kreshia.
I'm a bastard child.
Oh.
Though she is the firstborn, so...
And I'm the son of a bitch. Great.
You're politicking in hierarchies. All right.
Finger guns.
Thank you. Thank you.
Either way, Merisiel is still recognized as royalty, right? At least in noble blood.
Yeah.
The whole point is that you just want to see that the royalty is trying to put an effort to stop the necromancies.
Yep. All right. Well, we have permission then.
Well, we have permission after we stop this necroman.
Yes, we have to find and stop the killer in the city.
And we have to bring
That's
them
what we
back.
have to stop. Then we can have permission to go to the next step of forming this inquisition, which is contact the Foxbees and their queens, their queen.
If I could be so presumptuous to give you advice, Queen, I recommend getting together bards and minstrels for a big spectacle. We have to capture them alive and make sure we make a big scene about it.
A what?
About capturing the mage killer. It doesn't matter if we do it if nobody knows about it.
Well, a big spectacle kind of would make things a lot harder to catch someone.
I mean, of course, after we catch them. Just have preparations ready for when we do.
I see. You want to make sure everyone knows that the killer has been found and has been brought to justice.
And has been denounced because you don't want the commoners mistaking the mages for the, well, of course, the bad mages. I've seen what happens when that happens.
Well, it seems as though you've thought this through quite a bit, Zanza.
He has been talking about this for some time, ever since he heard about who the Foxbees were. He has been furiously thinking about them and what they do, and
Honestly,
getting
this,
their help.
honestly, this plan with Merisiel is rather sporadic. Like I said, I know how to play to the crowds.
Sporadic.
Gladiatorial fights are more than just combat. They were narratives and stories in and of themselves.
Is that so? I'd always thought gladiator combat was staged. I suppose it's nice to have confirmation.
It's
I mean-
Zanza with the steel chair.
I mean, the combat is real,
So
but matches can always be arranged to create a deeper narrative, if you know what I mean. Rivalries, companions, all of that and such.
Well, I look forward to seeing how you wrangle the crowds of this city.
I don't think it'll be easy if you're right about the tensions going through, but it's something we have to try if we want to make sure that justice has prevailed. Either way, I thank you for giving me this opportunity. We shall not fail you.
Very well. Go with the light of Kalira, Zanza.
Zanza nods, gives a quick bow, and then starts running off. And then he comes back to take Mercia with him.
Alright, when you start to take Merisiel, the Queen will put up a hand. I would like to speak to Lady Merisiel a moment, if you please.
Alright, yes, my queen. Mercia, where should I go to find the rest of the party?
Well, the rest. You might want to actually hang out around, go find the symposium where the mages are. We had an appointment there, and that is where I'll be going after this.
Alright, I'll make sure to try to find everybody. And Zanza will zip off.
Alright, and we'll probably arrive there about the same time as everyone else because he runs 5 times faster than they do.
Yes, they do. Yes, he does.
And yeah, Mary will come up and the Queen will lean back in her chair and just laugh a little bit. Oh my, he's adorable.
He is. He's very earnest.
Yes, Merisiel, you do actually
Mhm.
support his plan, right?
There are a lot of things going on out there right now. And from what I've seen, from the cult we had to put down, the Fisher King cult we had to put down, the necromancer and his apprentice, who we did deal with. We killed the apprentice. He wasn't very happy with that at all. And there's that whole issue about people not going, souls not going all the way, not making it to the dream. There is more going on out there, and frankly, the more I see, I think perhaps having a force of righteous crusaders under the right oversight
Yes.
might not be the worst idea.
I'd like to
I'm thinking
emphasize
of-
this oversight, Merisiel. I'm no
Yes,
magic
no.
user, and I have no particular love or dislike of you, but I won't have people persecuted in my country, not for an accident of birth. If this starts a
No.
pogrom, may the consequences be on your head.
Yeah. I was thinking of enlisting the assistance of my son, Jace. He's a paladin. He's one of the Redeemer Knights. And I think he has a very good sense of judgment as well. I was hoping to get his assistance on this. And Zanza has had experience in sort of this issue before. There was an incident and an accident.
Yes, I heard about that, and a tiny Taeleer apparently leading a burning of a witch's house. I don't suppose that was him, was it?
Hmm.
Oh, Mary.
Poor dear. He has been very upset about that ever since it happened.
Well, at least he's remorseful.
Oh, very much so. I think he learned a very valuable lesson in that. And judging from his speech and how much he's been talking about the Foxbees and what I do know of them, that they are a force of good. They do not know evil, though they can be a bit overzealous, which is why they need oversight.
Oh, I'd say the Foxbees know evil very well. Otherwise, they couldn't smite it.
They don't have it in them anyway.
Well, hopefully they'll actually agree to this crusade, otherwise I get a murder solved for free, which, well, that wouldn't be the worst thing, now would it?
Wait, what did she just say?
She hopes the Foxbees actually agree to this, otherwise poor Zanza will have just been solving a murder for her for free.
Oh. Well, hopefully we do find it. I think we will, I'm pretty sure.
Very well.
And I know that the rest of my group has been grilling Zanza quite hard on what his actions had caused. And they're aware of his plan, of his ideas. And while they may not be fully for it, I think if it does get rolling, they will definitely want to be a part of it and make sure it does not go out of control.
Well, that's good. Having two princesses overseeing this inquisition would put my mind at rest.
We already have a place where they can set up, where if we get this going, they can set up and use it as a, quote, fort. I acquired a piece of land very recently, and they can hold up there while we get things going.
Investing in land, are we? Or are you just looking for another noble title?
A person we came across who had been terribly disfigured by the cult of the Witcher King. He had only been half turned into one of their sea creature thralls. And we devised a way, Kreshia, my friend, devised a way to undo the transformations. And when I cast the ritual on him, he was so happy. He gave me a deed to a vineyard not too far off from Castle Ixidor.
A vineyard, I suppose there are quite a few of them in the region. Well, I suppose you've always needed a profit source so you could make those magic items you're always interested in.
Yes, I did just make one recently.
Oh?
The staff of mine, I recently just enchanted it.
I thought that had been magic forever.
Well, it's a focus, but I really, really put a lot of effort in with help from the Bard's College in Durant. Really beefed up all of the magical channels in it.
I see. Well, I suppose that will serve you well against these cults and necromancers and whatnot that's plaguing the land now.
I certainly hope so.
Well, very well. I'll send for your son and have him briefed on what we've discussed. Did you need anything else, Aunt Mary?
Yes, there is one more thing. Would like to speak with the Treasury. There is something I would like to exchange between between the Imperial Treasury and myself. We came across something that I think we will be able to make use of. That you will be able to make use of better than just a few random adventurers would be able to. And it would frankly be safer here than with us.
Right then. You of course have permission
It's
to speak with
nothing
anyone in the
dangerous.
castle you want.
It's nothing dangerous, just to let you know.
I trust you, Mary.
It's residium. A lot of it.
That's very dangerous.
Only if you make it into a bomb.
Right now, it's just harmfully worth like a small, like township of our own.
Yeah. So the queen will make a little whistle under her breath and say, "Well, I don't know what we would do with that. You might want to ask Briarmount first. They actually do enchanting."
Briarmount? Perhaps we can let them know about it and set them up with something that they can do on behalf of the queendom, then? Perhaps they can make some use out of it for the betterment of the nation. There is a sizable amount of it, and the potential that it represents is considerable.
Well, I've always wanted a teleporter built into the palace. She will tap her chin for a moment. Well, I'll talk to the mages about it. Do send them up here once you, finish down with them. I believe almost all of your friends are going down there now.
Yes, I'll be the last one there. They'll be waiting on me.
Well, not if you take one of the horses from the stable.
I suppose I could.
Now, go on, catch up to your friends.
I'll give her a hug. And I will then depart. I'll go to the treasury first.
Zanza, oh wait, you're going to the treasury first.
Exchanged. And then then when we're at the Briarmount, let them know that the royal family would like their assistance with something magic related.
Alright, so Mary's going off to the treasury. Yeah,
I will.
if you want to just sell them a giant brick of residium, I mean, this is the treasure of an incredibly large nation. They can afford it. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I mean, it's just liquid wealth, so it's not much different than exchanging gold for gemstones.
For a lot of things.
This is the start of the Cold
is
War.
a thing, but they could think outside the box with it, I guess.
It's a Death Star now.
Yes.
They use one Residium bomb and then use the threat of Residium bombs to have an Iron Rain.
I mean,
No,
actually,
This is the start of
No.
Metal Gear.
No. I mean, to be fair, that's actually already kind of an initiated storyline that's being done.
Yeah, we're doing that with acquiring our private army.
Yeah. So you guys are getting a PMC going. You've developed ties with the engineer of the atomic bomb, and we've actually just acquired ourselves essentially a source of uranium,
I'm just gonna make Zanza.
which we're then selling off to the country that can pay the most money.
I'm just gonna
have
make-
royal ties to. That's fine.
fucking punished Kreshia here.
I'm just gonna make Zanza lose an eye and start smoking a cigarette. Tried to make a nation for the better and failed.
Cigar.
Cigar, obviously. I'm gonna
It's not
old
a
man.
cigarette.
Well, to be fair, Solid Snake smokes cigs, and Original
but
Snake
Michelle,
smokes
you
cigars.
forget one thing. This
Yeah.
is the medieval times. Cigarettes don't exist.
Fair
Cigars
enough.
do.
Pipes.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
be fucking punished Gandalf at this point.
Well,
Genjo.
when Zanza
A
catches
weed
back up
wizard.
with the party, he's gonna go, "Hey guys, it's official! The Inquisition is going to start!"
Aha, is that exactly what you had? I'm making sure here you're not jumping ahead of yourself because you're very
Well, I
quick.
mean, we have to capture the mage murderer that's going around town, but I mean, come on guys, it's us! Of course we're going to succeed.
And that suddenly makes the Inquisition happen. Have you actually asked the Foxbees yet?
I mean, it's the Foxbees. They won't turn down a call for justice.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, they're still a royalty. They might not need someone else's call for an Inquisition.
I mean,
don't doubt that they'll get involved.
These are like
They're-
a city-state,
they are,
a
yeah.
semi-independent city.
And even better, Merisiel will be the figurehead of the entire thing.
She will.
Sansa feels a very heavy hand
What?
on his shoulder.
Oh, dear God.
As Frida and Mary both arrive about the same time.
What have you done? I was supposed to be just along for the ride in this campaign. I wasn't supposed to be the fucking center of a righteous cause again.
No, yeah. I was gonna be like, I'm really sure Mary didn't want to do that.
But Merisiel, it just makes sense. You're practically a fairy tale princess. Other than Frida, you were the kindest heart here. You nurse back together monsters that try to kill you, and you have a beautiful smile. People will see you as the figurehead of the Foxbee Inquisition and have no doubt that you're up to justice. You don't have to actually do anything.
Sansa,
You just need to be the poster.
I mean, to be fair though, you should kind of, let Mary decide as opposed to cold calling her into a righteous, holy cause.
But why would Merisiel not want to help justice?
Because shit, do you know how much work that is? And then how responsible you become for everything. And again, yes, the Foxbees are their own group of people with a queen, and not just any queen, a democratically appointed one, which is the only people who have democratically appointed a queen. They don't need another figurehead, especially someone else's royal family.
It'll be fine.
That's not how it works.
It's going to be fine, Kreshia.
Sansa,
Please don't insult them by saying that you already have a figurehead. Their queen is their figurehead. Legally
Sansa,
appointed and chosen by all of them.
I can get to Frida. Yes, Frida?
you have a lot of siblings.
Aye.
And you seemingly were talking up my music.
That I was.
Please don't do that. It was really, really taxing trying to play music and not trip over your siblings.
Oh, sorry. I forget that sometimes they can be very huggy.
A hug is nice, but if you're trying to do some work, it's a little bit distracting. But a hug is always nice in moderation. Otherwise, it's called smothering.
And also, sure, the Foxbees have a queen, and of course they're going to defer to her. We don't really need Kreshia to be in control. I mean, Merisiel to be in control. We just need to make sure that she has her approval and that the public sees this. It's all about appearances. Oh, there's only one of me, Sarah. There's plenty more of my sisters and siblings.
Here in town.
Uh-huh. My oldest sister, August, actually runs an inn here.
She squints at you for a moment, thinks about it. Oh. She's your sister? Really?
I mean, what do you think my sisters would be like?
Tiny and covered in horns?
Zanza shrugs. I was the runt of my litter. In fact, I think I was the runt of all the litters.
I guess so. Cyril look at you again and just sort of, like, she's staring directly at your chest for a moment and says, yeah, Runt. Whew.
I feel insulted for some reason, but I don't really know why.
Tail wag.
How's your milk training going? I heard that was a thing.
Maybe I'll have to get back on that. Either way, Inquisition first, milk second.
No. Other stuff. Remember, Inquisition hasn't happened yet. Important other jobs, then building gradually towards the Inquisition like a steady rising tide.
Well, aren't we here to talk about how we're going to capture the Mage Killer?
Correct. Well, actually, that's happening in a moment. I've made a promise to go see the leader of the Tome Knights first about unrelated shit. Though I might bring that up at the same time and see if I can get some help on the side.
Oh, then what are we waiting for? Let's get business underway.
I don't need anyone cramping me up in the Tome Knights. If you want to get started with the Grand Sage, though, I said I'd be around with him a little bit later on anyway.
Alright, so I think everybody who isn't Kreshia is pretty much gonna head on over to where the Grand Sage is, who is probably off in the library, which incidentally is where Marcus was going, so.
And then I want to charge on up in a big horse. Oh god, finally. Just in time.
Hey, Mary. Did you know that Zanza has decided that you should be the figurehead of the Inquisition, even though they've got their own queen? I didn't know that you, yeah. Seemed pretty sure that you were.
I see. Oh,
Yeah.
well. That's interesting.
I take it that you didn't know that you were the figurehead of the Foxby Inquisition then?
No, I was not informed of this.
Pointed look at Zanza. Anyway, I'm gonna go hang with the Tome Knights. You guys have fun dealing with that. Pat them both on the back and then saunter on past.
We also have to go. We also have to go meet with him too. Why not go together?
I thought Kreshia was going to meet the Tome Knights for an unrelated thing.
Why are you meeting the Tome Knights?
Gonna help them out with the ritual thing and a little bit of personal business.
Ritual thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on the the body form purge. Because I figure if anyone needs to, break some kind of mind-fucking curse and transformative thing, the Tome Knights would probably like to start learning that ritual.
Probably.
And it doesn't hurt for me to get the bottom line in with them just out of the way, considering that the main point of contact is the Grand Sage, and those two don't, as you would expect, get along exactly. So I figure I'm going to see if I can learn something on the inside. Get a little bit of an edge on the conversation.
Okay. By the way.
Oh, yeah.
When we get back to the castle later, we will have our funds ready for us. It'll be squared away in the treasury for us.
Excellent.
I've exchanged the item.
Very good. Okay, then. That'll be great. We'll have to make sure to portion a good half away for Frida's orphanage in Fort Skyrim. Give Frida a big old smile.
I think I'm going to have to end up using some of mine to help with this project if it gets off the ground. Oh, God.
Don't worry, Merisiel. I promise everything will be fine.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Let me just hold on to my holy symbol for a moment. Oh God, Kalira, please give me strength to endure this if it happens. Give me the guidance needed to weather this storm.
Oh.
I assure you, Kalira is already watching down from you and approving of every action you're taking.
1d4 onto your next save versus Zanza.
Alright, so
let's go. I also have private business here. I need to find a druid. Shit.
I'm just gonna let
I figure the spellcasters might know where to find a druid. Maybe.
I'm just gonna let Skow control Oscar's token so she can see while the rest of you are in the library here.
Cheers.
Come on.
And mischief! Go!
No, Oscar, where are you going?
He's right here. He always has been.
Alright, so yeah, the party arrives inside Briarmount itself, this big open forum, which is dominated by a tremendous structure on the westernmost edge of the courtyard, the largest library in this part of the world, pretty much, and incidentally where several mages keep their private studies and offices, including the Grand Sage. Dozens of mages are coming and going at every moment of the day, pretty much. So no one really bats an eye when most of you guys come in, though several people turn and look at Marcus with fairly odd glances, like, giant dude, armor, weapons, human, what? So, yeah, you're definitely turning quite a few heads, Marcus.
Oh my god.
Hello, Grand Sage.
Oh. Good day, young man. Princess
It's okay.
Merisiel.
I'm confused
Hello.
about my gender all the time as well.
Just gives you a slight nod, like, yes, I see. And strokes his big, bushy white beard.
The one thing I'm not confused about is what we're here to do, and that is to catch the mage
No.
killer apparently going around.
There's a few things we have to do here, Zanza.
Savin. Savin.
Yes.
There's just one
Wrong.
of those things.
Absolutely wrong. He does not have a big bushy beard. You specifically said that he was very meticulous in cleaning and properly
Yeah, the most
maintaining
perfect
his
of
beard.
beards.
I said he usually is. I also specifically said last time that his beard was very, very unkempt from lack of sleep lately. Which is still the case.
Won't
So,
fix
yes.
that soon enough.
His beard is quite tangly and curly now.
Oh, still having trouble sleeping, Grand Sage?
Yes. The damnable tome knights. He just shakes his head and sighs. Always quick to jump to magic as the cause of any problem.
He'll be able to sleep easy soon, for we're going to take care of the problem. Zanza's just this 4-foot little bunny tar looking up at him, completely confident and smiling. Doesn't look threatening at all.
We are going to try and see if we can find this killer who's been using magic to kill people. And make a big show of it, denouncing him and all that he does, and trying to, earn some goodwill back. Try to get the Tome Knights off you. Yeah.
Well, that would be a most welcome change. Please, come, let's have a seat, somewhere. He'll start shuffling off to the side here. Also, whoever's adding these, shelf names, just give yourself inspiration. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sexy sphinxes and where to find them. Amazon articles, minotaurs squatting in you.
I like how there's a whole bookshelf devoted to that.
Hey man, these are cat folk.
Terrible initiative rules. A few rewritten Rangers plans. Mystic books for the fire. Unearthed. Well, there's more books up there. More shelves for things.
Alright.
It's a work in progress.
Alright, so while Mary and Zanza toddle off with the Grand Sage into one of the offices nearby, Marcus and Frida, you two are left alone in a library. What do?
Well, supposed to be here looking for tomes on that weird vision that Kinathis sent me, but Not really sure where to start. Something about an ear?
What vision?
It's like ear van something or other. It's like an island with an ocean and ice. There's a silver sword and black armor. You know, typical bad guy fare.
You were given a vision by Kinara about an island, and can you describe the boss black armor?
Yeah. Guy had black armor and silver sword and was like covered in ice or something. He's standing by a cliffside in front of a big ocean. There were black boats and red-eyed creatures. They were getting ready to sail, and not sure if it was, you know, something that was happening as we spoke or saw or, you know, whatever. Or something for the future or something that already happened. Not real clear. Little
Right.
something down in the corner that says the location and the date would be really helpful. But, you know.
Right. Frida thinks for a bit. Black armor. Was there an emblem of a snowflake or anything like that?
I mean, I didn't see one, but typically you don't have black snowflakes, so I would think something like that would
No,
stand
it's
out.
like a white or silver snowflake.
Yeah, well, I didn't see one. I mean, you might have been hiding it. Bad guys typically hide their true allegiances.
No, if it's the bad guy that I think it is, his allegiance is himself. It's literally the top of his organization.
How dastardly.
Yes, it was the big bad. He's still alive.
I suppose that's pretty convenient then. We knock him down and his whole organization goes down too. Like a pyramid.
Well, if it's the same person, then we might have a slight issue because what you're describing, or the description fits, is Lord Winter.
Lord Winter. What kind of name is that? We looking for a Lady Spring to go fight him, or what's the plan?
No, Lord. Frida just looks up at Marcus and
1,000 years old,
might be a
remember?
little bit hot.
Give me a little
Yeah,
break. I don't know all
he's-
the crazy villains that popped up in the last
No.
1,000 years.
No, but he's the reason why there's no humans anymore.
Oh, well. I guess all the more reason to go take him down then. I mean, it's not going to fix anything,
Yes.
but maybe, you know.
And he waged a demonic war against the elves and pretty much wiped out all the regular elves, and the humans were caught in the crossfire.
Oh, well, good. Maybe the elves know where Ear Van is then.
Arianne. We can... Out of characters, like, god damn it, these fucking bookshelf names.
I know, right? They're so good.
Like, I can't think properly on the scene. Like, okay, I'm gonna go look for a map, and then I just look like, where the fuck am I gonna look for that? I can't exactly look for a map at 69 recipes for Taeleer. Like, god damn it. But this one has a dick on his head.
Dieting tips, how to lose your muzzle. God damn it. Amazon Scaly's Bloodline. Books. I like how one side is nonsense and the other side is like humorous, actual stuff.
Dragon pornography, myth or legend? Myth and legend.
I'm having too
just
much fun
looking
with
at
it.
the
I really am. Although Kina keeps stealing
Books are
Oscar away,
real
so I lose
writing
my
magic.
vision of the bookcases and have to behave.
Sorry. You can move him too, you know.
This is true. He keeps getting stolen back again. I understand.
Alright, I will not. I will
Alright.
stop touching
Okay.
Oscar.
Yes. But we can look around to see if we can find a map, a book containing a map or anything there. Should be an index or cartographical section. Oh, and if she prestidigitates Marcus's boots clean. We're tracking a little bit there.
Well, I do appreciate it, but I'm sure the people who take care of this place would appreciate a little honest, dirt. After all the time they spend dealing with dust. So tiny you can barely see it. Not like good old dirt.
But
Joe Dirt.
there's dust from books, and then there's dust clouds from dirt.
Well, that's true. I mean, I could walk around in a puddle to make it mud. That would probably work a little better, maybe.
Yeah, but it just looks back at the trekking. Yes, they will have their work cut out for them, so once this dries up, it'll harden into the floor there.
Well, I guess we
But
better
we
get
should,
searching then.
yes. Well, we're both searching, so that's a 14.
Alright. So you're looking for a map, I suppose?
Yeah, cartographical section or anything like that. Yeah. Oh, holy crap. The hell. Oh shit.
Just in time for me
more,
to do this section.
more books.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, I was a moment away from being able to get these done before they reached it. I lollygagged too long.
Oh, Lord. Alright, so yeah, you find the history section tucked away in the back. Compared to the sections on religion and magic, the history section's actually rather anemic looking. Then again, at least Frida will know that the written history of the world suffered quite a bit in the fall of winter. There's not nearly as much of it left as people might like. But you can certainly find maps here, and plenty of them. Let's pop over to the world map, and I will show you guys where Irvanen is. Iona map.
I know where it is. Saw it last time.
Yes. But to remember, Irvanen is about 800 miles away across a fairly large gulf and an island chain. It is the largest of those islands, sporting several small villages and one quite large city. Yes, suffer with my blue. Wahaha. Currently, Irvanen is ruled by a Count Celestant, which is to say a nobleman who was elected to his post by the Church of Kalira, and rules theoretically over the whole island chain, though both Spherin and the Fey city-state of Summerstead contest ownership of at least some of the islands. It's also pretty prone to orc and Amazon raids, so it's not necessarily a great place to live. At least not right now.
It is part of the Empire?
Technically, according to the Empire.
Technically.
I mean, according to the Empire,
think that
everything's
is
a
the
part of the
best time.
Empire.
Well,
No, it's
according to
not.
Aruna, Ervanen is part of the Aruna. According to Spherin, most of those islands belong to Spherin, and according to Summerstead, they belong to Summerstead.
Do they all send people over there to plant little flags and little like things from their nation to declare their own ownership of it, and the other people just keep taking them away and putting their own stuff down?
Yeah, every time someone from Aruna comes over and plants the Arunan flag on Ervanen, someone from Spherin just sails over a couple weeks later and just kicks it over, puts their flag down.
Excellent.
Very delicate territorial politics.
Yeah, it's most certainly not like border skirmish wars going on, although, again, the orcs and Amazons don't make things peaceful or pleasant for anybody. But, there's some tension over the ownership of these sort of wind-blasted islands that have basically no resources. So no one really cares, but they care, Just enough.
You just don't want the other person to get it.
Exactly.
What are they looking for again?
That island, because Marcus had a vision of it, specifically of Lord Winter appearing on it, with a host of monsters at his heel.
That is fun. Okay, so now that we managed to find the map and placements, I write a few. I make a small copy in my book of the map as much as possible.
Okay. It's no problem.
Let's see. First little black book. New pages. Let's see. Map of the known world. There you go. Save.
Well, according to this, there's people living there currently. You'd think if there was a big old host of demons and all kinds of crazy nonsense, someone would have said something,
Well, how would they say something if they're living on an island?
I mean, they could send it by a seagull.
Would you trust a seagull?
I haven't really interacted with seagulls recently. I don't know if they've changed at all.
They quit esports. One person got it.
I don't know. I have no idea why a bird would play esports. Just imagining a fucking seagull sitting by a computer and just picking at the goddamn mouse and keyboard with the fucking miniature headphones on. All I'm hearing is a mine, with a fucking game of capture the flag with them.
Best player feedback.
Well, Frida, you know a little bit more about this Lord Snow character. So, did he come from that place originally, or was the vision about something that's going to happen in the future?
It just stops. Like, I don't know. I'm not an oracle or deity or have any ties to any divine ability to see the past, present, and future.
Oh, well, I would think if this guy was super important, that people would have, written a bunch about him, like where he came from and how he planned his attacks.
Well, from the previous encounters that the heroes of Runan did, piece down and write down, he's a vampire. a very old vampire.
You know, that's actually
And
kind
he
of shocking
was
to me.
What?
I would think if he were a vampire, he would have gone by something like Lord Blood.
Adjatha.
Oh, maybe he only drinks blood from people who are cool customers because they've got ice in their veins.
Uh,
I get it. You hear from the room across.
no, but the thing was, he was an elf. He had things back. Gets out a little black book, flips through it. Important notes here. He was an elf that fell in love with the demon and was banished for it. I think they took his. I think. God damn it! Fucking bookshelves. Okay, I'm not gonna look at my fucking screen and read this shit. So, his love was the demon queen herself, which was Kalera's mother. Okay, if you go flip the page, was Kalera's mother, and I think the reason he's winter is because I think I'm not so sure on this if this is true or not. I haven't gotten confirmation. They say he was named August.
I'm not sure I understand. August is not really part of winter. Be fall, wouldn't it?
But
I guess naming yourself
Yeah,
Lord
but
Fall would kind of invite defeat, though.
yeah, but it's the fall of winter, and then it became ice. So it became Lord Winter. I think it's a play on names. I don't know if it's Elven or how it was written, but it's the event that destroyed the Elven nation
My God,
and
all those humans wiped out
humans.
for a bad pun.
And you people get on me when I say puns will bring the ruin of humanity.
Well, if the elves created this guy, then I suppose we should probably ask the elves more about him.
Oh,
Are there still elves around, or did they all bite it too?
Oh, yeah, flip through the book. The current elves that live are very, that were alive back then are very few. But these are not the same elves as the original ones that had the Empire. In comparison, that would be the elves back then were considered to be fair skinned and, well, more human in terms of skin color and, well, paler.
Ain't no such thing as a black human.
Ah, shit.
I mean, that's how it goes if you listen to the South.
But BCL, all the black ones are in the south because the desert is in the south. There's a literal fucking species of dog people, Anubai, in the south.
I think I think we're talking two different Souths.
Anyway.
Okay. So that's from the look at these are not the same elves as back then. They, according to what's been said and what's been written, they lost a lot of their history and well, magic. To put it bluntly, they are a shadow of the former self, but they're still pretty great.
So they could help us with this Lord Frieza guy or not?
Ah,
Lord.
I
I
love it.
I don't know, Marcus. I really don't know.
Hmm.
But I think the ruler of the elves actually has personal history with Lord Winter, and Merisiel's mother had.
Oh, yeah. I guess that raises a good question. If he's an undead, immortal kind of guy, then he's not around right now. He was probably beaten at some point, right? So, who are the people that ended up beating him?
Well, that's where it's sketchy because he disappeared at the Battle of Gastagoth.
What, he just walked away one day? Was like, okay, that's enough blood for me?
Now, the Dragon of Worlds End awoke and attacked his stronghold. He hasn't been seen since then.
Oh, okay. So we just asked the Dragon of Worlds and, what his deal is then.
He's dead. He's dead, Marcus.
Oh, I would think dragons would be longer lived than that. That's unfortunate.
I don't know. I can't say what happened, but all that is said and all that has been said and told is that dragon was released from its bonds to slay Winter, I think, or just destroy his home. And then something happened. It disappeared. Was found dead afterwards.
I don't suppose we'd be lucky enough for the Dragon of Worlds End to have been a girl dragon, and she laid a couple eggs before she bit it. But failing that, at the very least, we should warn the people of that island that they may be housing the greatest villain that history has ever known. Possibly. I don't know if there were other bad guys that popped up in the last 1,000 years.
Well, there was the Hobgoblin Empire, but that got taken care of in a way.
More dragons.
Well, Merisiel and Merisiel's mother and the heroes of Leona, they were the ones to defeat them.
Well, suppose we could just go ask them then.
Ancestors was the actual, I think, was one of the ones that killed him as well.
Ah, what a pity that Sieg left to go back with her ancestors already. I mean, I guess we could go visit them, but they're kind of far away. Well, and there was some device we could use to communicate over long distances. Oh, I know. Seagulls.
Yeah. We have dream sending, but that requires seed to send, and we have to know where to send it. We don't know anyone on the island unless we can get a description or get a hold of somebody who knows somebody there. I think Kreshia actually has that spell.
Well, I suppose we could ask around, see if anybody knows anybody over there. Failing that, I don't know, do they do like merchant caravans that go that way? Could we send a message with one of those guys?
Well, a dream sending can go overnight any distance instantly in a day.
I was
Just-
thinking more like a little written message that we pass down.
That would take a lot of time because from the looks on this map, that island is way out there. That's gonna take a lot of time by ship to get to.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if we can't use magic to go send it, then I don't know that we'll have a lot of other options. Better to get the message sent now and, you know, maybe have it arrive in time.
We can always ask around to see if we have any official postings there. The Running Kingdom.
That's true. You know, there's always people hanging around in bars offering quests for heroes. Suppose we could hang around in the bar and offer quests for people who know people over in that island. We could be the, you know, the useless peasants that sit around and drink their woes away instead of going out and crusading valorously to right the wrongs of the world.
Well, the land up here is rather recently liberated. Like those peasants who drinking the woes away were literally slaves years ago, like 5 years ago. They're probably dealing with a lot of issues, and if they think that drinking would help them work through or dampen whatever the bad feelings they have, and that's on them.
Well, I can't say that I know how to fix everybody's problems, but I can say that no answer's ever been found at the bottom of a bottle. Except those bottles people send out to sea, saying that they've been stranded on islands. Hey, do you think we could send a bottle with a message to those guys on that island? Or do the bottles always flow away from the islands? We should ask someone about this.
Somebody with a bit more oceanic knowledge, but we need something that can get the bottle out into sea. We're pretty inland at the moment.
That's true, that's true. Isn't the city surrounded by water, though? Could flow downstream, maybe.
Into a lake.
I mean, yeah, yeah. So you're telling me lakes are not necessarily connected to the ocean?
Not all lakes are connected to the ocean.
Well, shoot. Where does all that water come from?
Probably from upstreams.
But then what's upstream? Just keeps going.
Yeah, but upstreams usually means it's gonna be some either a bigger set of body of water, or it can go up to the mountain where the clouds bump into it and it rains in the mountain, and then the water comes down from the mountains and keep going like that.
Okay, I feel like when we're talking about condensation, we've completely meandered off the point. I'm just gonna
I mean,
say,
yeah.
I mean, god damn it.
Well, we'll suppose we'll worry about our mountain bottle strategy later, but for the time being, you said there were some people that were alive back when this whole Lord Chill was doing his thing, so we can just go ask them or find someone who knows them and find out a little bit more. We might not be able to get a
Yes,
warning to that island in time, though.
that would, if all this information is correct, that would be Kreshia's mother.
So, where is Kreshia's mother?
I don't know. We have to ask Kreshia where her mother is because she is one of the elves that were alive back then.
It seems weird that the people we're traveling with are connected to seemingly the most important people throughout history and today. Kind of like we stumbled into a nexus of all the intersecting important events that have transpired for the last several thousand years.
Well, that makes for a great story and a great adventure. And you get to be in it.
Well, certainly quite convenient. Alright, to find Kreshia, to find her mother, to find information about Lord Ice Cube, to find out the meaning of the dream, to leading a grand crusade to stop the total destruction of everything from some mysterious, shifty, black-armored, red-eyed, silver-sworded bad guy.
You say crusade, and then I'm thinking instantly about Zanza and the Fox Beast.
Speaking of Zanza, Frida, Marcus, you guys can both mark inspiration as you
Okay, I was given.
as
I
you
have
finish off
inspiration,
that.
so I will pass it on to somebody who doesn't have inspiration.
I thought you
Everybody
marked
has it.
inspiration for
I gave her mine for bookcase shenanigans. I already
okay.
had.
So yeah, let's pop over and see how Mary and Zanza are doing.
Okay.
So
All right.
you have both sat down in one of the side offices with the elderly sage who straightens out his beard a bit with one hand and steeples his bony ancient fingers for looking at the both of you and saying, "Well, so you wish to help with these murders, yes?
Yes, we're going to capture the murderous mage.
If
It
it is a
might-
mage.
We
If
don't know if it actually is yet. Don't go throwing that. Now, Zanza, don't go throwing that kind of like stuff around. I mean, remember, you want to build goodwill. Don't just start screaming that a mage is killing people. That's the opposite of what you want.
I wasn't screaming. I was talking very
Well,
low.
don't mention it anyway. Not until we know.
Well, either way, we'll capture them or theirs, and then we're going to make sure that everybody knows that we do not approve of their actions. So, all we really need from you, Brand Sage, is information that you already have. Anything that can help us capture this fool faster.
Yes. As I'm sure you're aware by now, whoever this killer is, they've been targeting nobles exclusively, prowling the high terrace and, well, I'd say kidnapping people, but there's never any sign of struggle. No fights, no anything. The people that have been murdered, by all accounts, have gone with the killer willingly. That's why our friends in the Tome Knights insist it must be magic. That they're being ensorcelled.
Some kind of mind control magic.
Perhaps, or merely a very seductive individual.
I don't know. It seems foolish to go with somebody if there's murders going around, no matter how pretty they may be.
Well, begging your pardons, but sometimes nobles do foolish things for love, or lust, as the case may be.
For some reason, I'm thinking of Kreshia. Anyways, you don't suppose that our party would be a good bait for this supposed mage murderer?
He glances between the princess and the baron's son and strokes his beard. Well, I hadn't intended to suggest that, but, well, I suppose that's true.
It would be the fastest way to achieve it, and we're used to putting ourselves in the front line of danger.
I would ask that if you want to do this, it wouldn't be either of the princesses you travel with.
Well, maybe it could be me. I am a disgraced noble, but still a noble by birth. However, I'm not sure how much the Ilgade name carries weight around here.
Well, quite a lot. I don't think anybody knows you're disgraced. I certainly didn't until you just said so.
Then I'm not disgraced.
Self-disgrace.
For the purposes of
sage
serving
cocks an
justice-
eyebrow.
For the purposes of serving justice, I am no longer disgraced until the end of this trial.
Okay.
If you
That's
say
how that
so.
works, right?
Sure.
Yes, let's go with that.
That's how that works then. Then I shall serve as bait. The rest of the party can help. Can hopefully be backup for when they eventually try to capture us. Goddamn it, Marcus.
Well, very well then. Like I said, whoever this is has been prowling the noble district up on the terrace. Perhaps you should look there for your would-be trap.
Can I assume that that the mages here at the symposium have tried to find out who the identity of this person through magic, through scrying or auguries?
Yes, they don't call me Grand Sage for nothing. But whoever this is has left exactly no evidence of their passing.
I thought they called you. I thought they called you Grand Sage because of your magnificent beard.
Alas, if only facial hair was guarantor of social status.
Wait, I thought beards were tied to your magical powers. Isn't that why all old wizards have beards?
No, young boy. Would you like to know the real reason?
Zanza leans in.
The old sage leans in as well and says, "It's the same reason we all wear robes. It's cold as shit in towers." He nods slowly and strokes his beard.
Zanza brings out a paper and scratches out his theory of beards being tied to magical powers.
Was that on your necromancer hunt list? It's like, okay, so look for the beardiest one because that must mean they're the oldest necromancer.
Oh, then, are there any commonalities between where the targets who are chosen by the murderer? Maybe if we can replicate the situation, they'll come for us.
Well, that's the thing. Well, we're not sure where they've been disappearing from, only where the bodies have turned up. The people have mostly last been seen in local taverns, as far as I know, but I don't know if that's exclusively the case.
Do you know if they take specifically male or females? That might be a problem in my case.
He looks at you for a moment and then shakes his head.
Do you have a list of who has been killed?
Yes, and it is both men and women, so no need to worry. He will begin writing on a piece of scrap paper. And after a minute or two, he will tear the piece of paper off and hand you a list of about a dozen names. Mary, you probably recognize one or two of them at least, as being local,
Probably.
like, minor lords who keep estates here in town. Nobody of tremendous import, but certainly people of venerable families.
Right.
Well, if that's all the evidence we have, I suppose we should be getting ready to go set a trap for our murderer.
Oh, very well. If there's anything I can do to support your investigations, do let me know. This murderer is, well, suffice to say he's making things quite difficult on all of us now.
Actually, there is something you can give us to help me out with this. Do you have a backpack and something heavy?
I'm sure I can acquire one. What are you thinking?
Zanza will scooch under the table and take off his magical boots and hand them to Merisiel. And go, well, if I'm going to be the bait, we want to make sure that I don't run off too fast for everybody.
You know, you can just exercise a measure of self-control.
I mean, from the sounds of it, all the people who get taken away are whisked away by magic. They might not be able to exercise self-control.
Very well. I suppose I can hang on to your boots.
The heavy object will keep me from running off too fast. That way, if they do ensnare me, and I'm unable to resist their charms, you guys can follow me and make sure that nothing wrong happens.
Of course. We will keep close watch on you. Hopefully it will not come to that.
Right. Well, we have our plan. Guess we should let the rest of the party in on it.
Well, there are other things. We have other business here.
Well, Zanza doesn't know it, so...
Well, before we do that, is there any other information you've been able to uncover at all about this problem?
Well, there is the method of death these people have been subjected to.
That would be helpful.
And again, one of the reasons our Tome Knight friends think this is related to magic. Each person killed appears to have been murdered in ritual fashion, with strange
like they were
symbols.
sacrificed?
Yes, with strange symbols carved into the flesh and their chests pulled open.
I smell something that starts with N and ends in heresy.
Everyone just stares at you.
Necromantic heresy?
Heresy. He just forgets that heresy is a H. It's the long version of that little lowercase n. Shit, that's what that thing is called, a H? Fuck.
Either way, we definitely need to capture him alive even more. We'll have to interrogate him to figure out what exactly they're doing.
Yes, if you'd care to examine one of the bodies, this
sure
week's
that would be very
corpse
helpful.
is still at the Tome Knight's tower.
Well, Kreshia's over there. She will be of help, and for that, I'm sure that inspecting the body might uncover some kind of something that could help us.
I'll be able to tell if there's any mundane means that went on with it.
All just happening in the noble quarter. Only nobles are being killed in a ritualistic fashion. Did any of the symbols seem familiar? Like, definitely magical? Like, did they... I mean, there's one thing for the Tome Knights to accuse it of magic just because it looks like magic, but is it actually looking like magic? Like,
No, and that's why I've been arguing that it's not a mage doing this.
So it's just random nonsense or symbols.
It's not that either. I had one of the linguists here at Briarmount examine one of the bodies, and at least on that individual corpse, he said he found, well, of all things, ancient elvish characters, referring to greed and avarice.
What if it's some long lost dark magic?
He just blinks at you for a moment.
Hmm.
I suppose, though, it would have to be quite lost for no one at Briarmount to know anything about it, I assure you. There are no greater magical experts in all of Iona than those gathered here.
Are you saying that the mages here would even know about dark necromancy?
Oh yes, yes, we have our experts on even the dark arts.
Zanza eye squints, but that's a battle for another day. I'm focused, or not, Merisiel. We'll catch the people who are actually doing the crimes, not the people who simply know the means of committing them.
That's okay. That's good.
That would be preferable, yes.
Either way, I suppose like we don't have any hints as to what exactly they are until we capture them.
Yeah, we'll have to find out more evidence before we can make any further steps.
What was Merisiel's second question? I mean, second order of business.
Well, I think there was more than one. There's like three. There was three things total. One was this. One was I just met with the Queen, my niece, the Queen, and she said she would like to see you about something.
Oh dear.
It's not related to this issue. It's something separate, private.
Oh, well, in that case,
let's see. I do believe. I think it would be fine to say. The royal family has come into the possession of a supply of residium suddenly, and but she does not know what to do with it, and would like your assistance with it.
What are the odds? We have a lot of residium too.
I'm not even gonna. Not.
Has Zanza actually just been drinking mercury the entire time this campaign's been going on?
Zanza wasn't there when Merisiel had residium. He's also 8 intelligence.
Yep, he most certainly is that. Alright, so, yeah, the Grand Sage will say, well, I can certainly think of quite a few things to do with a large sum of residium. And then Savin will yawn again for like the 10th time.
I'm just gonna hold up my hand, and just like curl my finger on next to my thumb and like give a general shape, like a size.
Oh my!
Fucking marble! You wanna snort it, bro?
Huh?
Just eat it. Become a god.
That's also how much
for
residium.
About 10 minutes.
Someone reach over the table and just slug Zanza.
For that brief moment, you can see or do anything. You can see everything in the universe.
It's a good thing that it feels like an eternity. Because you have a heart attack pretty much immediately.
Of the universe.
2 seconds of immortality, and then
I am a biotic god. God.
So yes, she would greatly appreciate your assistance and advisement on what to do with this object.
Well, there's one thing a good sage is good for. It's telling the royal family how to spend its hard-earned money. You said there was one more thing.
Let's see. I know there was something else.
Druids.
1 second, let me think. Yes, that was it. Do you, by any chance, I don't suppose you know much about, say, less than normal creatures, more fantastical animals? I have a question about something, and I might need to find a druid for it, though. But I could also use the help of an expert on magical creatures.
Well, you've come to the right place, certainly. If you would be willing to tell me what you're looking for, I don't know it myself. I can direct you to who does.
Oh,
The creature's a winter wolf.
not the one I'm wearing on my coat.
It's cute though.
Yeah, it's just that one's son. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Probably, maybe.
As the sage will nod and stroke his beard. Yes, a winter wolf. Lovely creatures if raised young, but quite terrible if feral. There's a whole section on creatures both arcane and mundane, just south of here, and I'll point over in this direction.
Huh. Wonder why more kingdoms don't train winter wolves for the military.
Well, do you know how much a winter wolf eats, and what happens if it gets angry?
Zanza shakes his head on both of those.
Well, they eat people.
Oh wait, I've seen it get angry before.
And
Zanza
it
kinda
probably
just
tried
looks
to
down.
eat someone, didn't it?
Tried to eat me.
There you go.
I'm just going to hang on a second. I'm just going to turn around. I'm going to stand up and turn around and I'm just going to fish Magnus out.
You just turn around and Magnus's head pops out of your backpack. Bjork.
Oh, that's not where I was going to keep. That's not where I was keeping him.
Did you
keeping him in
say
his usual
Bjork?
spot.
Yes.
God damn it.
Icelandic bork.
I pulled him out from my dress where he's been keeping warm. And
Alright.
Just, fix myself up for a second, really put myself back together. And I'm just going to hold Magnus in my arms. My little, I have acquired this little winter wolf on our way to the capital. His mother was dead, starvation from the storm, I believe. He was the only one left, and so I took him in. But I figure that a winter wolf saying that it's cold is a not normal thing.
No, they are... Well, they thrive in the cold. Would you mind if I examine the creature?
One moment, please. I'm
I
just
remember
going to use my beast speech and just start roo at it. And Magnus, I'm just going to put you down on the table here for just a moment, okay? You stay still. Be a good boy.
Mommy.
I remember your
Okay.
exact reasoning for this
It's okay. It's okay.
was that it was just recently
I'm
born
right
and did
here.
not have its fur.
I'm gonna stroke his head and give him a kiss on the forehead, and I'm gonna put him down on the table.
My, this is a well-behaved creature, if a bit
Very
small.
Very young when I got him. His eyes hadn't even opened yet.
Right, he will pick the little pup up a bit and turn it over, examine it, open its mouth and look at its teeth and feel its pulse. Well, it's smaller than any winter wolf I've ever seen. Certainly the runt of his litter.
Ow. I feel kinship with it now.
He looks at you, then looks at your winter coat, and looks back to the little pup, and adds, Still, it shouldn't be this cold indoors. It's almost shivering.
Hmm.
It may be sick. Wouldn't
That's what
be
I was
surprising if it's been born prematurely or suffered from exposure shortly afterwards. What happened to its siblings? Winterwolves are usually born in litters of 4 to 6.
Well, when we found they were all dead when we found him. Magnus was the only one left.
Ah, I see, yes. And the state of the mother?
Looked like she had died of starvation.
So small and emaciated. Fur beginning to
Yes.
come off in clumps.
I believe so, yes.
Yes. Then it is indeed likely this poor creature was born prematurely. When close to death, winterwolves will attempt to birth their litters, give them some chance at life, in case the rest of the pack is still about. In this case, though, your Magnus here was lucky to be alive. Lucky that you came by before something larger and nastier did.
Huh.
I've been doing my best to care for him. I'm lucky that I can speak to animals.
Do you
I
think-
have been feeding him.
Do you think I'm so small because I was born prematurely?
I suppose it's possible. There is also the dwarfism condition, but you seem to be a bit tall for that.
Zanza, I think, is like a clean 4 foot.
Yeah.
On second thought,
Zanza's
Well,
tiny.
it's he was born prematurely after his mother did all of that, the smoking and thermometer drinking contests.
no, it's okay. Like, Zanza's mother was in the middle of getting just hardcore reamed by her husband when
Yeah,
her
I
water
did-
broke.
I
And
thought
he
of
just
the
squirted
joke.
out.
Thought of the joke and I didn't want to make it.
Well,
I
that's
can
what I'm
feel
here for,
something
bro.
Moving.
The way, we need to nurse poor Magus back to health.
No, this is why it's wrong, because I just imagine that's why it's Sansa's confusion about his own gender. Because Sansa got smashed in the fucking head as an infant by a dick. Literally.
Well, one
You know what-
day,
you know what that's
Zanza's
a
going to be
Sansa-
training, like, fighting against his father. Just knock his old man down. Just start punching him in the head over and over again. Going, say, how do you like it? How do you like it?
Starts just slapping him around with his swingers.
There you go. I tried to say that. There you go. Cock slapped stupid.
Oh, dear.
From a young age.
It's fucking horrible.
This is
okay?
terrible.
Absolutely terrible.
Atrocious.
Well, and we're done being horrible people.
Cock slapped.
Yes.
No. Alright.
Ugh.
So yeah, if there's nothing else, the sage will just tell you to try and feed him a little bit of meat as well, as winter
Okay.
wolves need that very young, and little
Oh,
Magnus
really?
should pull
Okay.
through.
Okay. That's a relief.
Meat
I
for the
will-
meat gods.
Endeavor to take better care of him. I'll get some meat and introduce that to his diet as well. And and I will make sure to keep him nice and warm.
Good. Well, if there's nothing else, I do have another appointment coming up, and then it's off to the Royal Palace once again.
Hopefully that visit will be more enjoyable than your last one.
Well, that's a low bar to meet.
Either way, thank you for giving us the information on the murderous mage. Or supposed murderous mage. We'll capture them and get to the bottom of this.
Yes. Why don't we call them the suspect for now? Whoever that may
Yes,
be.
that would be a good term to use. Very general.
Suspect.
Doesn't really
I
not
like-
give anything.
Makes me feel like I'm leading the Inquisition already.
Oh dear God.
Right. We'll find the suspect and make sure that he confesses to his crimes.
Alright. And so Mary and Zanza will meet up with Marcus and Frida. And, yeah, probably leave.
I'm going to try and find that book on winter wolves.
Okay, yeah, you can just find that, no problem. And since you're a princess, it's not
But
like anyone's
please
going to
do
stop
enjoy browsing.
you. Oh, yeah, you should definitely take a gander at
The very south has an extra selection of books too.
I'm gonna take a book of Weeaboo fighting magic.
No one is allowed to take those books.
Jesus Christ, Skow.
You made
Yeah.
you made the
Scion,
section.
eh?
I get. You made the section. I get the book.
Mysteries of the Fastest Bunny. How to pronounce
boulet.
boulet.
Hobgoblins, dating advice for druids, lots of shampoo. Oregano, more than a plant. And then also, because it's in the secrets of nature, blank books, because we ain't no snitches.
You had way too much fun with this.
I did.
The greatest secret Anubis G-spots. How many licks does it take?
And then we got this one.
An entire
Family tree.
the entire wall is just taken up by Zanza's family records.
Oh my god. That's not
Maps,
even inaccurate.
the greatest treasure. Warnings that the treasure was friendship. Whose aisle is it anyway? Kitty history.
That's
Adorable.
what we have to buy.
Give me a second.
Yeah, we have to buy it for you.
Yep, potions of squatting and some prophylactories if you need them.
Oh, let's go to love ballads. Fuck yeah. That's great for a bard.
Absolutely.
A few leftover rails of white lightning.
That's how the sage is able to keep his shit together day in and day out.
It just keeps me sharp, okay?
Oh god.
That's about right.
Well,
The
given
elf
the
is
fact
looking at the
that-
elven dance manual. God damn it.
Alright, so about this time, Kreshia's probably getting back from her meeting with the Tome Knights, which will sort of timey-wimey through.
Sure.
So, just as the parties left the library, Kreshia wanders on in and heads over to the Grand Sage's office, where she was heading to anyway.
Oh, hey there, Kreshia. We're just leaving.
Ah, cool. That shouldn't be long.
Okay, good, because we have to go see the Tome Knights after this.
Yeah, and I mean, I just got back from seeing them. Should probably have done that bit first, considering these time streams are about to cross over.
Yeah, alright, fine.
Yeah,
Do the Tome Knight thing real quick.
because I might have things that I need to ask him after having spoken to the Tome Knights in the first place. I don't know.
Fair enough, fair enough. But what
Just
if
a
you have
day
things
of
to ask the
running
Tome
around.
Knights after speaking to the Sage?
I know, right? Well, then I just have to make a return journey.
Alright. So, yeah.
And also, then I'd be consulting the Tome Knight with time travel knowledge. I'm just saving myself the trouble of taking a second journey because I went to him after seeing you, and then he told me some stuff that I had to see you about. And then everyone gets a nosebleed. So they sort of book her through the timelines.
Alright, so. Kreshia, you arrive at the Tome Knights' relatively small garrison here at Briarmount. Pardon me, I'm just gonna go on again. Goddamn, took a nap this afternoon. You think it'd be less yawny?
Naps are the opposite of helpful for feeling sleepy.
Savin, here's a question. Have you been drinking enough water today?
I think so. I'm drinking water right now.
Well, have you consumed a gallon of fluid today?
Fuck no.
Have you consumed a gallon of lube today?
I had to go get a CT scan. They told me not to drink anything for like half the day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're rather dehydrated.
Would not surprise me. Oh, so yeah, I went to go get a CT scan, and then when I got there, they told me the machine was broke, so sorry. Thanks for coming out, though.
Yeah,
Well,
Like-
shit.
yeah.
But was it
That's
lupus?
hilarious. Here's the really hilarious part. I was scheduled to do a CT scan before one of my checkups.
And did you break the machine?
Do you know what they use to do CT scans with?
Actually,
Is
no,
it
I don't.
magnets, and they reacted to your metal plates?
Yeah, that's like
Oh.
they scheduled me for a CT scan. Like you're fucking
You
trying to
are,
kill
yeah.
me, aren't you?
Hmm.
But yeah, there was the newer CT scan, but this was an older model that actually used my nose like an MRI.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, no, I just gonna go to the X-ray sections. Like, I'm not going in there and like, getting ripped apart. That'll be fucking awesome though for a movie.
Hey, what's
Yeah.
That's
Going into a
from
CT scan when you're
Cronenberg.
covered in metal plates and just getting fucking torn apart into neat cubes.
Oh,
Oh man,
Yeah,
Oh,
what's it
jeez.
called?
That'd be
MRI.
brutal.
Yeah, I know. This is Cronenberg level of creepy shit. They just shove somebody with pins and bolts and everything into an MRI and just blast it full.
Look out, it's a Cronenberg one.
That'd be cool.
Totally cool. Yeah. Butt kicking up
Anyway.
my goodness.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, the Tome Knights have a relatively small garrison. It's really more of a little armory tacked onto the side of the main building, where maybe a dozen knights total might reside. Therein, you quickly find Ward Myri Kier, the light blue-haired catfolk female who heads up the local garrison. And she will greet you with a firm nod and offer you a seat and a cup of coffee.
I will gladly accept, thank you. And, yep, settle into place. And then I suppose I, in return, will open up my pack and pull out. Have I got anything delicious and edible? No, I need to look into just getting fancy snacks, just as items to have. Darn. Oh well. So I guess I don't go into my bag to get stuff out, unless you would like to partake in a smoke, actually.
No, not on duty.
Yeah, fair enough. And okay. So, first things first. There have been quite a few events that I and my companions have been rather privy to recently. Dismantling the Fisher King's cult, which had been using magical artifacts from we don't really know where, performing evil rituals, which I've resolved a way to undo, and I'd be happy to share with you. It has other applications apart from just their version of a transformation, but it's the kind of thing that might come up again. And she'll rifle through and pull out her documents on it in the meantime.
Alright.
It's a ritual, so anyone amongst you who's capable of performing a ritual to any talented degree would be able to use this.
She'll summon over one of the more magically inclined knights who will copy it down.
Oh, no, you can keep that copy if you'd like. I've got a handful of them just in case.
Ah, very smart.
Can't be too sure. But yes, and I've seen it working whole. It was fantastic to see it work, honestly. Trialing was a bit of a challenge. That's another story. But we've been part of other events. Some of your, perhaps this individual here, more magically inclined knights might have noticed ways back a sort of shockwave of magic, like a seismic event, effectively.
Yes, it was hard to miss. This event swept over most of the country as far as we know.
Yeah, so we were kind of at ground zero for that event.
Do tell.
She will roll up her sleeve and reveal the tattoo for the taking of the throne.
And what's that?
There's still some that I don't know about it. Its portions here are a language particularly old and ancient. But effectively, I was attuned to an artifact of no small quantity of power. What else I can do with it, I'm not quite sure yet. It's in the activating of it, this shockwave, this trigger went out, and I have a feeling that other things may also have been, I suppose, woken up, if you can think of it that way. Strange events are kind of culminating if you think that this cult was active at the same time as the events of this necromancy. Magical things that shouldn't have been are active, and we found our way to an object like this. It's all very prophetic and a little bit uncomfortable, I suppose, to consider the reality of. But things are going to get a lot more dangerous. I'm pretty sure the druids as well are having problems with animals losing their shit, effectively.
Yes, there's a train of events have happened lately that have given us all cause for concern, to say the least. This
Indeed.
necromancer is, well, hardly the greatest, unfortunately.
Indeed. As well, I believe we've got a full description of this necromancer. Some of my companions will pop by, and they have a drawing of his identity, an old fairy with a terribly burned up face. It's apparently their leader. We failed to apprehend him the first time, although his apprentice has been summarily destroyed.
Well, that is good news. Once you bring the sketch over, I'll make sure it's distributed to all the guard posts in the city and out to the other settlements. They'll have no place to hide.
That would be appreciated. He is capable of using illusory magic to shift his appearance, so that would be one thing to also be out on the lookout for. As it stands, I can't really think of anyone better at kind of locating that type of magical threat.
She'll get a little smile at that and say, "Well, you think correctly. It shames me that we haven't killed the bastard already, but winter being what it is, our options are somewhat limited."
Yes, I've noticed as well. Likewise, gosh, there was another thing on tip of my tongue. I have to look in my list of shit to see if I remember. My brain. And also my voice, which is just disappearing on me.
Oh no.
I know, right? Alas. Oh, there's another thing, but it's just completely gone out of my brain pan.
It's okay, now you can remember one more of Zanza's sisters' names.
Yeah, great. Excellent. Let's see here. I'm also tempted to just be like, me and this lady had a fling, and then roll for girlfriend effect. I don't think that's a good idea. Although it's a great flaw to call on. It might be a bit too dangerous.
Yeah, I think you would need to mention that the first time this individual showed up.
She sort of did, actually, at the palace. And then, on finding out that Kreshia was a wizard, it soured a little bit. But I don't think she ever explicitly said that they got to any bow check or wow.
Yeah, just knowing of each other doesn't imply girlfriendedness.
Yeah. No. Although the odds are pretty high.
Kreshia confirmed for having banged literally everybody with a vagina on the entire planet.
Ain't buttholes a fair game too? Please.
Like, you have to tell me. God.
I thought you had your fill of borkers and buttholes at the moment. That's what I thought.
As you say that, I turn to look at the, criminal in question, and she's just curled up in a tiny little ball staring at me.
Just waiting to fart.
Yeah, just waiting for literally any excuse.
Just fucking test me, bitch. Just fucking test me. Oh god, I really wish I could remember. Oh yeah, I mean, I did want to also ask about the murderer. Duh.
Alright, you are given the same information the rest of the party was.
That's fair, but then I presume that they've got the body here for
Ping
looking
me
at.
or when it's back. I'm talking to my cousin. I'll be back.
Ow.
Sorry about
So yeah, they do indeed have the body in a separate little room there if you want to examine it.
that. Yeah, would you be opposed to me taking a look?
Not at all. Please.
Okay. I will, lift my hat and let Detective Consultant Era also join me on this matter.
Detective consultant.
It's true. She's got a monocle on right now. She knows it's business time.
If that's the case, then perhaps this is when the rest of the party shows up.
Sure.
Maybe you ended up having to wait in line for a little bit to get into your meeting.
remembered something that
Sounds
I also,
possible.
so I had remembered something with this conversation. We got the appointment with the Grand Sage initially because we mentioned the Necromancer and his description. And now I was wondering if he actually had information about that.
Alright, yeah, he did seem to recognize them. That was...
Ah, yes, that was in fact the Sage's next appointment he mentioned.
Yeah. Don't you worry, Kreshia got your back.
Oh, you were the next. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll sit on that one.
Yeah, you're welcome to do so. Yes, Kreshia's restoration of form will be passed on. She'll, show up take the throne and ask if she recognizes the language on it at all.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and make a history check?
Sure. 19.
Alright, with a 19, so you don't know the language itself, but you recognize a couple of the characters as having a lot in common with your own language, and consulting with Era, however, you realize that these are ancient Elvish characters.
Interesting.
This is the predecessor of your own language, before the elves were driven underground by Lord Winter's fall.
I happen to have something else on my person that is ancient Elvish. I'm pull out the Feywine Chalice and see if any of the religious markings on that match any of the presumably religious markings on this corpseling.
Okay. I mean, some of the characters do mesh because you don't have like Elvish is in Japanese where one character means one word,
Of
right?
course, yes.
But you don't see any words in common.
Alright.
Oh, I thought you pulled out Frida out of your pocket or something.
No. I got my Feywine Chalice.
Yeah. Because she knows ancient Elvish.
Frida actually knows it 100%. Wow, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just happened to get first look at it, essentially. Let's see here. And I guess the method of death, then.
Alright.
Does it look magical?
No, it looks like somebody went on this guy with a knife.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, for the record, this is like a male cat folk, probably in his early 30s, ashen blonde hair, fairly skinny, all things considered. He has a few tattoos on his upper shoulders and arms, indicating that he was at some point some hobgoblin's property before the war ended. but he appears to have been a member of a noble house before his death, as a little signet ring on his finger will signify.
Sure. Do they have his belongings and stuff to look through as well?
They do. They do indeed.
Sweet. So would it be an investigation to sort of CSI over that shit?
Sure. Hit me up with an investigation check.
All right, Detective Inspector, we got this. 23.
All right. You may ask me 3 questions.
Does it look like anything of importance was taken?
No. You imagine that this guy probably had a coin purse at some point that's been taken, but no, it doesn't look like there's any real obvious missing items from his pack or pockets.
Is there anything on his person that would make him a target to someone in particular? Anything stand out or exotic?
Well, he's very, very handsome, or was before he was an eviscerated corpse. He's also appears to have been very, very wealthy as well. You can see the fingers that don't have his signet ring on it all have like gold rings and small jewels. He has several jewel-studded piercings in his ears, and when you look down the rest of his body, you even see a pair of solid gold anklets. Just very thin, but definitely made of gold.
Okay. And is there anything about the body besides the writing that doesn't match up with the injuries described?
No.
Okay.
It
All right.
appears that he was murdered with a small blade, probably a knife, and then someone carved these symbols into him around his chest and shoulders, and then scooped out his insides through his broken open rib cage, basically.
Oof.
I wish our healer, because that might also be a monster activity as well as just a person one. I suppose I will mention to Tome Knight, there is nothing magical about this injury. What leads you guys to believe that it is an act of magic behind this killing?
Well, the thing that makes us think these killings have been magical in nature, more than anything else, is that these people appear to just be going with their killer. Time and again, these nobles are just walking off and into their own deaths. There's never been any sign of struggle or fighting. Look here, and she'll run a hand over this fellow's upper arms and hands. No defensive wounds. No indication of any sort of violence at all.
And that's synonymous with all the victims then?
Every single one of them.
Let's see. Well, hopefully when Frida gets here, she'll be able to translate these. Embarrassingly enough, the Elven one is not the one who speaks Ancient Elven amongst my companions. Likewise, she's the one who has the image of this necromancer that you can pass around.
And just as you're saying that, the door opens.
Speak of the devils, and thus they arrive.
Yes, the rest of the party files in. And sees, Frida, elbows deep in a corpse.
Oh my.
Right.
Well,
You mean Kreshia
Right.
elbows deep in a
Yes, that.
Yeah.
God, names.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Drink
do
more water,
names?
Savin.
How to make name
Hey, don't worry.
tag.
At least you don't have my issue with names.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Aw, puppy's asleep. Yay.
At last. They're so peaceful. When they're not being
So
assholes.
peaceful when they're not barking like crazy.
You mean pooping
They're
like
so
crazy?
peaceful and don't
Pooping
fuck
like
with
crazy.
shit
In,
all over the place.
in Tasha's case.
Yeah, Kreshia will start, cleaning up her hands and arm properly. Hey everyone. Say Frida, this person is totally covered in like ancient Elvish writing. I know that you've learned it in your studies and such. You could take a peep at it.
Oh,
If you'd like, I can just scribe it out for you if you don't want to, look at an eviscerated corpse. I imagine that that's not going to be the most pleasant thing for you.
it's okay. I have no problems with blood.
Okay, if you're sure. Also, I was
Yes.
wondering, do you know of any, like, as opposed to magic, any monsters that just make people do whatever the heck they want? Because this guy has no
Sacrifice?
signs of any kind of signs of struggle. And there's no evidence of
Sacrifice?
magic being done. I don't notice anything sulfuric about him, but maybe. I mean, succubi's possible. But I also
Well,
don't know why they do the
they-
whole disemboweling thing. That's super not, like, a sex monster's purveyance. This guy
No,
didn't get a
but-
happy ending, did he?
No, it does not look like he had any sort of sexual assault committed upon him.
No, I'm
No,
gonna rule out
I-
succubus.
It's not that. They don't have to be. It doesn't have to be one killer.
Oh, you think, like the monster does the drawing them in and then the killer does the weird shit? Yeah, it's true.
Well, that's
Options
it would
open.
fit with. Yeah, that's potential situations.
That is certainly a possibility I didn't consider.
Because we know there are demons who have a natural beguiling ability.
Heck, sure. I have a natural beguiling ability too. And then she'll bounce on the spot in front of the Tome Knights.
Everybody stares. How busty is Kreshia again?
She has double Ds.
Then yeah, everyone's sort of like, oh.
Yep, and her clothing is, as always, that cute keyhole sweater.
And Seer's just like, oh, mom, please.
Please, Mom.
Sort of flushes a little darker.
Innocent smiley face. Yeah. I will, once I've, made sure that I'm all cleaned up and there's no corpse under my nails, do a little prestidigitate just to be sure. I will step aside and leave Frida to Corpse Town.
Okay, that sounded like you were dropping me off in fucking Detroit.
Yeah, I pick you up, step aside, and place you exactly where I was stood. It's like that's the detective inspector spot.
Okay, some assistance would be nice then.
Ah, fuck.
Sure, I will lift Ira from my head and loan off the detective inspector.
Detective Inspector, you're
Okay, I'm back for.
I love it.
I'm actually back this time.
Yay. Ah, my
Doesn't-
ears.
You're blowing on your mic or something.
Cousin came over expecting me to be dead, evicted, or both. What it was is that my phone is just acting up, and she could not call me.
Oh. Yeah, I was wondering why I couldn't hear anything from your side.
Yeah, I was in the back talking to Cuz.
No, I meant why over the day I'm like, I haven't heard jack shit from DCL. Oh, his phone is dead. Oh, that does explain everything.
Oh,
Yeah, the
that
listening
carries on
devices.
notifications.
Don't you worry, Fresh little head about it.
questions.
Did they ever give
Espionage.
Zanza that backpack and a heavy object?
Yeah, I mean, somebody at some point can fetch you a backpack and, like, a bunch of rocks.
Alright, so Zanza is encumbered, and what does that give you again?
I believe it's half speed, and you had disadvantage on strength and dex checks.
Oh my god, I move
Yep.
at normal people speed.
Oh no.
All right.
However,
Oh god,
will
I
you
feel
survive?
I'm like a walking muggle.
So Zanza will be moving at normal speed until he takes off the backpack.
Just think of them as training weights.
This is just gonna go even faster afterwards. Oh no.
I'm
Once you
trying
drop
not.
them, you'll just disappear.
I'm trying not to be the anime nerd here, so you guys. I'm trying not to give you guys that excuse. Don't just put that on my shoulder, anyways.
Too late. You put the own weight and vest on your own shoulders, TCL.
I'm doing this
You
so I
did
don't
this.
just run away from the party and never get seen again.
That would be amazing if
always
somebody
do
just
that.
like dominate monstered Zanza and he just like ran off and the party could never ever catch him.
No, because that's exactly what would happen. Zanza sacrifices himself up to be like dominated as lore, and then nobody goes like, "Oh wait, but what about the fact that if Zanza runs full speed, none of us can fucking catch him?"
He's literally like as fast as a horse, or more.
He is
So
considerably faster than a horse.
So at least this will give it a chance, where if they do get to dominate a person, people can catch me. So
We
alright.
have a hope.
So Zanza's gonna start going over to the Noble District. Of course, not alone. This operation, at least, is under the assumption that he'll need somebody else's help.
Alright. So you're not going with the rest of the party to actually investigate the body?
Oh, that's what we're doing?
Yes, that is what the
That's what
party's
we're
doing
this
right
very
now.
moment.
Okay. Then Zanza will be with that, because there's no point playing bait without a party.
now. Yes.
So, I mean, you could. It's like, where did Zanza go? It's just Mary looking at a pair of shoes. Nothing.
Anyways, I guess I will throw this check in. Boop.
Boop.
Medicine investigation check on the body.
Alright, so to recap, this is a very wealthy-looking noble cat folk. Male, early to mid-30s. He's had several strange figures carved into his flesh around his chest, which has been basically peeled open and the insides plucked out. These wounds definitely appear to have been
Wow.
inflicted with a knife. A small blade of some sort. They're too precise and lean for like beast claws or anything like that. Somebody definitely performed surgery on this dude.
20. What, was I given guidance or not?
Nobody said anything.
No one
So
asked.
not then.
That's more the fact that I was gone. But either way, information already seems to be gathered.
Yeah, but with a 20 then, what you mean? Say
Yeah.
same thing.
You can see that many of his internal organs have been removed.
But this is a medicine check, not an investigation.
That is what
A
medicine is
method.
for. What would you like to
Okay.
find out with a medicine check? Let's go from there.
I mean, I was
Okay.
using my medicine check. Oh wait, Frida already has her own. Never mind.
I mean, you're both doing
Yeah.
this since you both rolled. So
Yeah. Because we know he used a blade. Somebody used a blade for this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What type of blade? Because depending on what they cut, it requires quite a bit of strength, even if it's a very, very sharp object. Instrument, that was the word I was looking for.
You can't determine the exact make and model of knife, but it was probably like a surgeon's knife.
Can't go CSI Miami.
Yeah. Whatever broke his ribs open was probably like an axe or hammer used in conjunction with a knife to get them out of the way.
But here's the thing. If it's a hammer, there would be crush damage. If it's an axe, it will be cut damage.
I suppose that's true. With a 20, yeah,
Yes.
they probably used a hammer to break the ribs and then pull them out of the way.
Okay. I mentioned that whoever did this didn't use anything basic, because this is I would say the cutting is professional, but he looks at the ribs there. These were just bashed.
Perhaps knocking out the victim?
No.
No.
These blows are meant to just break the ribs, but there is a disconjunction here because they used professional tools to cut, but they used brutal and simple ways to break the bones.
Is that just to get at the gooey bits, though? Like, get them
Yeah,
all fancy and open and then go at them with the fancy knife? Or is that a cover-up
No,
after someone took them down to Hammer Smash Town?
That's a good question. But no, they are just precision hits. She falls flat over and see, there is no mark here. So they cut them open first, then
Hammered open the ribs. Huh.
Yeah, but why would they hammer the ribs?
We'll find the answers once we capture them.
Yes.
Are all the ribs there as well as the or is that as missing as the meat?
Some of the ribs are there.
See, as you can see, this doesn't fit properly. Whoever used it used some really good tools.
Okay.
Wait.
What?
Yeah.
God.
I don't have the voice for that.
The best side commentary.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, Adjatha. High five for that one.
God fucking damn it.
That was great.
Can't even be mad. Oh, I wish you would have said that character.
Oh, if you had said that in character, that would have been fucking amazing. But yes, that's still, we still win gold on that. That's great.
He's
But anyway, so whoever did this used professional surgeons' tools to cut them open.
So
But
like a doctor
something
did it.
very basic.
An
No, somebody
apothecary?
who could have pulled. Probably, because these are professional cuts. These are very specific cuts.
I guess the next question then is, what's written on them?
Just looks at the flesh flaps.
The
such.
Grand Sage said they were Elven script
It is. It's
for
ancient Elven. I can't
yeah,
read it myself, but for a
for
couple of
stuff
words.
like avarice and greed and things like that.
Okay. Let's see. Let's get the she folds the flaps together to get the text properly.
Mm-hmm. When you do that, Frida, you notice that like a big chunk of the skin from the guy's chest is just like missing. Like whoever cut him open just like took it off and chunked it probably. But
Wait. Chunk it. If you cut somebody open, you don't need to chunk a piece of the skin. That's folded back.
no, like where you would fold the skin back, like apparently they actually cut the folds off and like took them somewhere because they are not attached to the body.
That's how Crocs are made, just so you're warned.
Oh, no wonder they're evil.
Yep.
Smells of heresy.
Yes,
That's-
this is the work of
okay.
Slaanesh, no doubt.
But
Anyway,
you said there was no sign of a happy ending.
so yeah, Frida, you also
Not
get
for the guy, clearly.
Mm.
Oh, that's horrible.
You get
Let's
the
get away from
the same conclusion as the sage drew, that someone has carved into this guy's skin various synonyms for avarice, greed. There's like some smaller bits calling him, an uncaring sloth, etc., etc. Why don't you make an intelligence check? Let's just see if you can piece together anything from this other than just disparate sentences.
Okay, I blow my inspiration on this and as much as I can.
Okay.
So intelligence and
Intelligence.
Oh shit!
21, not 20.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
And just because I'll do my bardic inspiration.
Always just because.
Ah, not quite enough to get to
Not
25.
But still a nat 20.
Yeah, that's real good. So yeah, you very quickly piece together that, like, someone basically writ a manifesto on this guy's body. Like, whoever did this obviously is imparting a great deal of hatred towards the bourgeoisie. That they want you to think, when you look at this body, that this person was killed because they were rich, because they were noble, because they led a life of excess and wealth and greed. And that's why this happened to them.
Yeah, the
I wonder.
religious connotation to this.
I'm getting a little nervous now.
I wonder if that's a way we can further bait in this person. Maybe if we pretend to be nobles of loose coin and looser morals, we can track them faster.
I have a
I
quick,
just turns to Kreshia.
a quick question here. Do you know if this man had any particular faith? And if so, did his body make it to the dream? Sorry, did his soul make it to the dream?
That would be difficult to determine.
Well, look at
Well, I
his
mean, we
belongings.
can. I looked through his belongings. Was there any kind of evidence of a holy symbol? Anything that have religious connotation?
There was not on in his pack. Perhaps you'd have to ask his next of kin about that.
That might be something to ask.
What's his name? Who is this man, anyway?
Alright. This fellow was a catfolk by the name of Fergus. Not Greymore, happily, but...
Just Fergus, it's the same
Yeah.
name.
Fergus, of the House of Cain, Caine.
I got that one.
They are a merchant house. They control several large ships that take goods across the inland sea to the south.
So what you're saying is that this person has a hatred for people who are merchants?
No, but this is not just hatred. This is religious.
Well, do we have any hints? Well, I guess Kreshia already asked that. And the answer was no. We do not know their god.
No, we'll have to go and ask at House Cain.
Yes,
'Cause-
but
yeah.
he was born noble, or was he?
Did he become it by being a merchant?
Well, you don't become noble by being a merchant now, but yeah, he was burn. Feel the burn.
He would burn. And then
He was born a member of the nobility on technicality, insofar as he was born during the Hobgoblin occupation, and he has slave tattoos on him. But he can trace his genealogy back to before the occupation, to a noble house, and when the Hobgoblin Empire fell in this region, he was granted his patents of nobility back by the crown.
Just barely a noble.
Yeah, he's like a very minor noble, probably not even a baron, but he does have noble blood.
And money talks.
Yes.
Right.
Although this guy isn't talking anymore.
Race
I'm
of
sorry,
occupation.
friend.
When did the killing start?
Let me pop open the calendar, because it's been a while. The warden will answer that the first murder in this series occurred on August the 5th.
Did anything have happened of relevance on August the 5th that we'd know
No,
No,
there's no major
wait.
holidays on that date.
of? Did we get up to any shit?
The campaign began on September 17th,
Oh,
so it
yeah.
was before the game started.
No, I have a question for the warden.
Mhm.
Catfolk or hobgoblin ceremonials?
What do you mean?
Does the end of July, beginning of August, has anything in connotation for hobgoblins?
Not that I know of. The end of summer is considered the last holy days for Agaresh, but there are very few hobgoblins still living here in the capital city. And more importantly, few enough of them are magic users. I doubt we're
Yeah.
looking at a hobgoblin suspect.
Doubt, but we don't know. But it's not that. It's somebody. It could be somebody who's was very amicable towards the hobgoblins' way of living.
You mean a dirty sympathizer?
Everybody
That's a very harsh-
isolated.
Yeah.
That's a very harsh way to say, but
You know what those people did to us. There's no word
Yeah.
too harsh for someone who conspires with hobgoblins.
Is this man a mage?
oh wait, out of
Lady,
character.
again,
How,
for
Lady.
whatever time. No, it's a time.
question: how many years ago was it that this place was liberated?
5 years.
Yeah, it is a
Okay.
fresh wound.
Yeah,
Or sorry,
I
6
tell her
years actually. But yes, it's a very
it's
fresh
6
wound.
years.
Like any adult you've met thus far was at some point like a serf in the Hobgoblin Empire at best.
The TLDR is it's probably
Not a battle to
Okay,
win right now.
No, I just mentioned to her that 6 years ago I was 7. So I do not know what went down. And I don't harbor any hatred.
Consider yourself lucky then.
It'd be nice if future generations didn't harbor hatred too, but that's getting ahead of ourselves. Regardless, adjectives aside, we could be looking at a sympathizer. Especially if they used to be tattered up and then, came out of the whole ordeal. I mean, if you think of it this way, to someone who maybe believes that the rich and such should have earned their place and they've picked an ex-slave for want of a better phrase, it would be quite a direct and pleasing target, don't you think? Like a rich minor house noble coming out of the whole ordeal, living quite comfortably, just an
Or-
attractive individual.
Or somebody who could go unnoticed that didn't get their fair due.
what good is all this speculation? We won't know until we capture them.
Because
Yes,
speculation
but
is
how-
part of the solving of a mystery.
But it's boring.
Too bad.
Well, this is how it works, and it's not all storming, kicking in doors, and
I give Zanza a ball and a cup. There you go. It's ball in the cup.
But I tell Sansa, that's the thing. That's how you find them instead of walking door to door when there's so many people living here. You can't, without evidence and without any way of finding them, you can't really go and just outright attack people because you believe that they are evil.
Of course not. Once they try their wiles on me, that'll be proof enough that they're the ones who are involved.
Alright, before we get to that
but
point then, I suppose we'll need to ask some of the slightly more boring questions, such as, where was this person found, when did the killing happen, and stuff like that would help us actually set up some kind of a trap, so to speak.
I mean, those questions should be unanswerable because we asked those, and basically they never know when the deaths happen, they just find the bodies afterwards.
Yes, we found the body 2 days ago on the 5th.
Where around?
He was not far outside the High Terrace. There's a large monument to the war's end. His body was splayed out in front of it. Rather bloody scene.
That sounds...
That's
Is that a typical place for the bodies to wind up?
They've always appeared in public places.
Public places?
Yes.
But never the same?
Never the same.
Similar ones? Or never the same?
No, the first body was found on the docks. The second was found outside the Pantheon. The third outside of a brothel in Old Arran.
Can we get points on the map here and so we can get some overlay?
Sure, I can do that for you. So
what do you think would be a potential place a victim might wind up next?
It's right
I
now
wish
we
I
have
knew.
it too scattered. But they were written. This one had text on him. Did the other bodies also have it?
Yes, they've all had similar text. Not the same, but similar.
Do you have any copies of what was written down?
I believe so. I can have those found for you.
Yes, please. That would be very kind of you.
There you go. Those are the 4 she mentioned. Let me go check something and see if I can put together the rest of them, because there have been like 12. Let's see.
And no matter where the bodies were found, they're all like people who lived in the High Terrace?
Yes, all of them have been people who lived in the High Terrace.
Interesting. Interesting indeed.
But
It means they had to move a body. Or maybe they weren't dead when they were moving.
but there's also another thing. Like, what was the High Terrace before it was dubbed the High Terrace?
Would it have been just noble district for hobgoblins?
Yes, the High Terrace has been around since the city was founded, more or less, as where the nobles had their estates and villas. So when the hobgoblins invaded, they just kicked the catfolk out and took over. It's also the oldest part of the city other than the actual old town, which is at the base of the castle.
The one with the word old in its name.
Yes, indeed. So that's where you're going to see like buildings that are literally centuries, almost a millennia old. So there's a lot of shit stacked up on top of itself. You know, old houses on top of old houses on top of with new houses on top of them. So yeah, that's a rough spread of where the bodies have been found thus far.
Okay. Wait.
None in the High Terrace itself. You'd think that would be a reasonable target.
Yes, that's where we keep expecting to find bodies, but no.
It seems like the next probable targets would be, honestly, like it would probably be near the symposium. That's a very public place, and it has not been. There's no body been dumped there yet.
In which order were they found? Like,
see, I think the first one was at the docks, then the Pantheon,
So it's rather
then the brothel and
non-concentric.
Aaron. Yeah, it's not like they're going in a circle around town. It's been helter-skelter.
No,
Random.
but it's not random if you're a serial killer. It's never random if you're a serial killer.
True, but don't forget our DM isn't presumably a serial killer, and so probably isn't applying the same pattern
Yeah,
concept.
But here's the thing.
I mean, that's a lot to assume.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Savin's a dick.
I mean, the obvious dick move.
I mean, I serial slay pussy, but other than that...
I mean, the obvious dick move would be have the murderer doing a murdering right now while we're over here investigating.
Yeah, meanwhile, over in the Barley Burrow, August is just getting knifed in the face over and over again.
I mean, okay, so my whole point, right? Oh, I guess, honestly, I guess if you could find a string, it would help. But honestly, my main point right now is, other than like speculate why or what they're doing, I don't think there's anything we could find that will help us catch the guy, because we don't have enough evidence yet.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably
the thing
talk
is-
to some of the people who knew these people.
Yeah, I would like to go to House Kane and see if they're,
But
religiously
But
tied
we're
up.
also missing a substantial point that even in a slanted map mode, because this perspective,
Make a little circle.
I don't know. I think you're overthinking it a little bit.
it could
The
be.
issue is, of course, that they all originated here in the Noble Quarter.
And then the deaths mark a circle which opens up a demon into the middle of town, and Frida's just screaming, "I was right!"
As we're all just pulled into the abyss.
What if
Yeah, but that's the thing. They have to operate somewhere, and the person or people that are doing this are not seen. They're getting away clean slate, no evidence, no nothing.
I mean,
So there's somebody that knows how this is done.
I mean, was it really that hard to get away with murder back in the Middle Ages,
No.
where there wasn't really investigations or CSI? You could literally just be an assassin class, sneak up, kill somebody, and then like hide away and not
Well,
have
this
them
is
outdone.
obviously a little bit more serious than that, though, isn't it?
There's also magic, that can be used to detect things, so it's a little bit harder to be a...
But that
Serial
hasn't led to anything.
I mean,
in this
all I'm
case,
saying
hiding
is
the tracks
the
somehow.
rogue class, at least mechanically, makes like silent killings not that impossible. Like if there is a fucking rogues or assassins guild anywhere in the world, then it just can happen.
There is
Yeah,
no
but there's
rogue
the-
or assassin's guild, shifty eyes.
There actually is, but they work for the crown.
Oh, yeah, I actually like the idea of asking questions about who these people were more, and if
Yeah,
Yeah.
the trip to House Kane seems in order.
and if
Yeah.
I was to be
And,
so foolish and give Savin the ammunition, I would say the party should probably split up.
Oh, boy.
I know,
Why?
right?
Because, I mean, here's the thing. Zanza, Marcus, and, I don't know, possible Merisiel, and, well, actually, what is the daughter's name? What is your daughter's name again?
Sierra.
Sierra could probably be good at the investigation, but honestly, it's like we at least have two characters who are not going to aid in the investigation anyway, probably, and could probably be out being active bait just in case, while all the smart people go and investigate and gather information.
Unless that looks a bit too obvious, but yeah, I suppose so.
I mean, it's obvious, but in the like logical, if we're trying to like be logical within our characters, Zanza and Marcus can't contribute jack shit to the investigation. They'd be best.
No, I wouldn't say that. You'd be
Easier.
surprised.
Let me just point out that Frida has a 12 in intelligence. She's not the smartest.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was going to
it's
say,
like
like,
a
literally, you guys do have skills. It's just how you use them. Marcus Shaw, for all intents and purposes, is incredibly fucking good at talking to people. It doesn't matter if he puts his foot in his mouth; he'll do so with charm and aplomb.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be practical. I mean, okay, whatever. I'm just trying to like say, at least within the realm of
If you want to,
thinking
if you want to start sprinting around to be bait already, you're welcome to do so.
There's no point being so alone. I mean, maybe he gets try to set himself up as a target, but on the off chance he gets caught, and then he's alone, and then my character dies.
I can't imagine that possibly happening to you.
Okay, so let me put it this way. After all the times Zanza's tried to do it alone and has gotten himself nearly killed, he's not going to do that again. He's learned his lesson. He's going to at least have some backup.
That is a very admirable thing. Learning your lesson is good.
Okay, tell you what then, a little bit of a game plan here. I can essentially reform our lovely spider friend Ira here into a bird. Birds renowned for their ability to keep an eye on shit and just look like birds, which tend not to attract attention. A little pair of watching eyes that can fetch me from anywhere. And I'll be with the party while we're doing this, looking around. If you want to get started on it, then I will ensure that you aren't alone. I just need like an hour's setup. And likewise, I mean, Sira is one with the shadows and sneaky. She can totally keep an eye on Zanza and make sure he doesn't get iced by a random person, right?
If you want. I'm also pretty good at investigating, though. I'd like to think, anyway.
Very true. Alright, we'll go with Operation Bird Friend. Are you okay with some era companies, Zanza?
Of course.
Excellent. I mean, I'll need a place to just chill for an hour. I'm interested in meeting some of your sisters. That sounds like fun.
Oh, they will love you. Plenty of hugs to go around.
Oh boy.
Hugs are nice.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you know, nothing makes you hungry for lunch like rooting around in a dead body.
Why does that make you hungry?
Ah, it was just a joke, sweetie.
I squint.
Siri will lean down and say, "My mom's actually a cannibal."
Oh. That explains the fire.
What?
The tendency to burn the bodies.
Slow head turn to what, sorry?
Nothing.
Siri just tail wags.
Slow squint.
It's okay, Kreshia. I accept you for who you are.
Aha! Great. Just walks past. Thank you for your time, Milady Tome Knight. Frida,
Yeah.
can I borrow I say borrow, can I have a copy of that Necromancer's picture? I want to hand one off to the Sage and just pop around to see him.
Yes, she gets prepared one out of her backpack.
Thank you, sweetie. I suppose I'll see you guys at the burrow later, and then I will prepare Ira to bird rescue Zanza should anyone try to abduct him and tame that sweet bunny flesh.
With Sarah, right?
Nah. Seriously,
I mean, I would like to have somebody who's there immediately just in case something goes wrong.
That's fine.
Yeah, if you want Siri to hang out with you, that's fine.
Yeah, of course.
I asked for as much information that that's what was written on the bodies from Savin and who they were before everything.
Alright, yeah.
And when they were killed.
The Tome Knights have a list of all the writings, and Mary already has a list of names, so you guys can put that together.
Oh.
Okay, cool.
And Zanza will also leave his sword and glaive with Marcus for now. because he does not want to look like a target that could defend himself.
Luckily, Zanza is still equipped with fucking A and fucking B. Pow pow.
So yeah, Zanza hands over his weapons to Marcus for now.
Sweet.
And over with Sarah, he'll be like, alright, so at least it seems like the murderer hates nobles that are excessive and, I guess, superfluous. I suppose I should act like a noble who is a spoiled brat.
Sarah pulls out a satchel of stolen bling and just starts lining them up. Does she get away with doing Zanza's makeup? Mostly because she'll tell Zanza that it's an important thing to do, but she just wants to put makeup on Zanza.
Zanza will believe Sarah without question.
Wait, so who's putting makeup on Zanza?
Sarah.
Oh gosh. Is she gonna make him look more masculine, or like a little trappy fuckboy, or what? Or like, is she gonna pad his chest out?
Well, most of the nobles, were they dudes or chicks? Or didn't care?
It's about 50-50.
About 50-50. Let's, she'll probably trap him up again.
Alright. So, fuckboy Zanza is in full blast.
I'm confused. Wasn't that what he already was?
Yeah, but now you've got Manskara on.
Unfortunately, she doesn't have proficiency in disguise kit, but she will make
I know, right?
She's a thief. How does she not have that?
Because she has thieves' tools and a poisoner's kit instead.
Fair enough. Never mind.
Well, let me just get my fucking disguise kit out.
It's cool.
Don't worry, Sirius got it.
Fucking Zanza looks like the Goblin King.
Let me just get you my David Bowie icon real quick.
You remind me of the guy.
What guy?
No.
Guy with the power.
What power?
Power of voodoo.
Hoodoo?
You do.
Do what?
Oh. And then Zanza's gonna go through the streets trying to ham it up, going like, ha ha ha! I'm so glad my family already did the bleeding for me. I can just sit back and enjoy my family name. Luxury!
Literally, a bit overdoing it, maybe.
Just read my neck folds and title.
So...
Money, title, and winches. Such luxury, such excess.
So what role is Sira playing in this little performance of yours? Is she gonna be your servant, your skank of the day, or is she just hiding in the shadows?
I suppose she should maybe be the skank of the day. I was no, she should actually be hiding in the shadows.
All right.
Lone target makes for a better, more
cool.
appealing target.
So she won't be able to assist you, but go ahead and make either a performance or a let's see, probably a deception check. Yeah, either of those.
All right.
And Sierra will try to hide.
She wants to
stealthy as fuck.
Wants to choose to be real. All right. And Zanzo, I guess I'll spend inspiration. Oh God. Glad I did, I guess.
That's,
not really.
Yeah. So, yeah, Zanza sounds exactly like DCL sounded. Also, seeing that this is going to be a shit show, Sierra will sneak off for a few minutes and go pick some pockets. Aw, yeah. Sweet Luker.
Good go. That's my go.
I still should have some money. I could probably throw some of that around and actually just buy stupid shit.
Alright, yeah, what kind of stupid shit are you going to try and buy?
You there! He's going to point to some random person working in a stall.
Some little stable boy will look up. Yes, my lord?
I like your stall. I want your stall. I'll buy your stall.
But this isn't mine, my lord. This belongs to the house.
And he'll just throw a bag of money at the little boy. This stable's mine now. I'll discuss it with your house later.
Oh my god.
He just looks at the bag of gold, looks up at you and says, yes, sir, I guess it's yours now. Goodbye, and he just takes the money and just books it down the street.
Do you even know if that was the...
God.
5 minutes later, you find a cat boy mugged in an alleyway.
Yeah, and then Sierra holding a familiar-looking pouch of coin.
How much money did you just throw at that cat boy?
Was
Fucking
it 70?
no, I guess I just threw like some silver at him, like what, 20 silver, whatever.
All right,
That's
hold
not
on.
enough to
Let
buy
me just
a car.
yeah, all right. Just gonna mark Sierra up by like 20 silver.
Yeah.
Aha! It's so nice to be a noble of means. Money means
God.
nothing to me.
You're being a... You know what? Whatever.
I should buy some servants so that they can bleed and sweat for me. I am too wonderful to do any work.
Oh my god.
Oh, God. Alright, so I'm gonna go see the sage about this necro dude.
Alright. So Kreshia's going back to Briarmount to talk to the Grand Sage. What are the rest of you doing?
Okay, I don't even know now. So who wants to go interview the families of the deceased?
Sounds like it involves feelings. Pass. Saunters off down to Briarmount.
Okay, bye.
She'll blow a kiss and tail wag.
Frida will go.
Yeah.
Marcus, you want to come too?
Sure. Alright.
Perhaps the people... Actually, yeah, that might actually work out. If the families know a Paladin is helping with the investigation, they might be more open to things.
Alright. So, I guess you guys are going to House Kane first. You can get direction there pretty easily. So, let me move you guys' tokens over there. And find a token.
Oh, hashtag rip Monty.
Oh.
Poor Monty.
Oh my god.
Chat wants to know, so what's Jeffrey up to now?
What is Jeffrey doing?
Just like 24 cut to, the party walking up to this decadent manor house. Opulent and imperial, looking over the lake. And then on the other half of the screen is Jeffrey just balls deep in Zanza's sister again.
Well, he's having the time of his life.
Yep. Nobody has asked Jeffrey to do anything, so Jeffrey will do nothing.
This is true. We haven't.
It's
we
his
haven't done
fucking
anything.
day off.
No.
So
Excuse me, Zanza very specifically told Jeffrey to make more siblings for him.
Did you actually tell him to do that?
Sure, it happened off panel.
Oh,
Alright.
okay.
Well, I mean,
Zanza
Jeffrey is
doing that.
more than happy to help you,
Zanza for the strength of... Well, you know what? I'm gonna roll for this right now. Oh, never mind. Zanza does not have a good herbal medicine to increase
kobold fertility.
Oh,
You
oh,
have
dear
one that'll
God.
increase like bunny people fertility and minotaur fertility, but not for kobolds. That's beyond you.
I was hoping for a nat 20.
Actually, wait, don't you have proficiency in an herbalist kit?
Yes.
Why don't you roll that instead?
Oh!
Alright, well, hold on, let me just let's just make some rolls here to see if you're gonna get some sisters.
Let the God King of Blood flow into the Ilgades.
Oh dear God, I can hear them talking about gun control upstairs.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a fucking black hole I don't want to step into.
You say as the Canadian.
Yeah, I can do that.
They have
We
guns in Canada.
We do have weapons up here. It's just, there's some.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you over the M16 that's being sold literally in my Walmart.
You can't just go to a gun show in the middle of nowhere and just buy a gun with no questions asked.
Yeah, I went to a gun show recently.
Right? That's not made up, right?
I went to a gun show recently that was being held in the auditorium of a church near here. True story. And somebody there had an enormous box, and I mean like this was a fucking shipping crate full of 50 BMG rounds.
Good.
It was just selling them for like 50 cents a piece. It was like,
Good.
yes.
Okay, that sounds skeevy as fuck.
It sounds American as fuck. I don't know what
It's
you're
just
talking
that,
about.
our guns have to be registered, and we need to go through the process of getting a license for them, and it's just like, you just gotta, there's red tape you gotta walk through.
DCL, that's the thing though. 50 BMG is... Those rounds are expensive.
Yeah, but these rounds were also probably made in World War II, so...
Yeah, so that's like... You're just expecting them to just kill you.
Yeah, well, Anyway, point in being is that there are gun shows and churches here in America. Welcome. So, that all being said, you arrive at this opulent merchant household up at the very tip-top of the high terrace, which you are certain belongs to House Kane. There are a pair of guards who stand out at the front, more to announce visitors than actually defend the place, of course. And with a bit of chatting, you are quickly able to get yourselves a audience with the lady of the house, who, upon asking one of the guards, you will find that she is the younger sister of the fellow who was killed, Fergus.
So this is the deceased sister?
Yes, her name is Leiden. And she will appear a few minutes later wearing a black dress and a small little veil over her face, and quietly approach and offer you all a seat in her drawing room. And once you're all seated and a servant brings you tea, she will quietly ask, what might bring a princess to my doorstep this day?
Well, first, let me say that I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you, my lady.
We are here trying to investigate what has happened to your brother and a number of other people, and we are determined to track this person down and make sure they face justice for their action. We just wanted to ask you a couple of questions, if that's all right.
Of course. I'm afraid I've told everything to the Tome Knights already when they came, but I will, of course, answer whatever you'd like.
Okay, so what do we want to ask her? Let's see.
I think you were supposed to ask her about religion, stuff like that. What religion the guy followed.
Right. Did your brother, let's see. Did your brother devote himself to any of the gods in particular?
Yes. We, like most catfolk, were once worshippers of Mithras, but when Lanan made her appearance, my brother converted to her worship, as she is goddess of storms, and he would pray to her for good weather on his voyages.
I see. So Layman,
He was a ship's captain, you see.
ship's captain.
She nods a bit more eagerly this time. Yes, his caravel would sail all the way down to near Pergolith. He and his crew plied the entire inland sea.
Hmm.
How was your brother in private?
What do you mean? His behavior? He was always a gentleman, prone to boasting, I admit, but he was nothing if not a loving and gentle soul.
Would you
What?
just say your brother had any enemies?
None that would want to kill him. Not that I know of, anyway. I know that the merchant business, especially on the seas, can be quite cutthroat, but he never engaged in any sort of armed conflict.
Never told you about any kind of crazy happenstance that befell him while he was traveling? Any anecdotes from his sailing days?
Oh yes, he would often tell me over the last year or so about this great storm that rode in on the sea while he was on his way down to Anders Bay. He would say that his ship was surely going to sink, that the storm would capsize them, kill everyone aboard, but that he gathered all of his crew on the deck to pray and pray and pray to Leynin. And just as the greatest wave he'd ever seen threatened to crash over the boat, that the sun broke through the clouds and the storm ended just like that. He always said after that he was blessed by a goddess.
Well, that does happen sometimes. I've seen it. But everyone on the boat was okay with that? I know religion can sometimes be a sticky issue, and being forced to pray to somebody else's goddess might, make you a target.
Oh, I don't know about the rest of the crew. I know most of the officers converted to Leynin with him, but I'm afraid you'd have to ask the crew about their individual worship. I can't imagine most sailors don't worship Leynin now. It'd be silly not to worship the goddess of the storms.
Wouldn't that make your old god a little annoyed that all these people are switching?
Well, I suppose, but surely they wouldn't kill my brother over a matter of faith, would they? Mithras is supposed to be a good goddess.
Well, I'm sure I have no idea, but don't worry about it for the time being. Hey, this is kind of random, but I don't suppose your brother ever talked about Irvanen, the little island kind of off to the northeast?
Yes, actually, I know we've both been there. He had
yeah?
a trade route that went there sometimes, though only rarely.
Oh. Who's in charge of your brother's trade route now that he's passed on?
That would be his second, and this is when Savin pulls open the name generator. Do 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 do. Kieran was the name. A younger man, maybe 20 years old.
I see. Is he in town?
He should be. The boat was docked when my brother was when he passed, and with no captain, well, I don't think they're going anywhere.
You didn't see anything weird when you and your brother were on the island, did ya? Like people with glowing red eyes, or strange black armored people with silver swords?
Oof, that was a few years ago, but I remember we saw a great sea monster off the bow.
Did it look very much like an elf, or?
It looked like a turtle, but do,
Uh,
do you think a turtle killed my brother? I don't.
At this point in the investigation, we're now willing to rule anything out.
How was your brother like in public? How did he act?
Well, I'd like to say generously. He was a charitable man. He gave to the poor when he could. He would host several parties a year, usually when his ship returned from a long voyage. He had many friends.
You guys are so quiet.
Yeah, it's called thinking. But I'm thinking
Don't know what
here.
this thinking is, but it sounds painful.
It can be.
What's that thing? It's a headache with pictures. Being an idea? Uh-huh.
Headache with pictures.
Yeah.
Who was his competitors?
Well, every other merchant on the inland sea, I would guess, and several from without. And she'll list off several other small merchant noble houses, as well as the Barhold Trading Consortium. Sorry, not Barhold. That's the entirely wrong game. Herp-de-derp. Let me go grab a map real quick. Okay. It's the entirely wrong game. No, it is the Barnhold Trading Company. I just have very small lists of names.
Was that the place that burned down?
No. That's the
Okay.
group that Jalinar worked for, and that is paying Haskern Covenstone to make a Residium bomb.
Okay, the Barnhold, but they're more than not question. Okay, then let me ask a very, let me ask a question then. Did your brother ever meet people that you would find strange? Or did you ever talk about meeting other people that was that were different than people he normally talked to?
Well, you meet all sorts of people as a traveling merchant, but the last few weeks he had been talking quite a lot about a young woman he met. He was professing his love and writing her poems, and oh gods, I should tell her. Oh.
Wait, do you happen to have a name and the poems? Discarded poems or finished poems?
Yes, I have a few. If you don't mind, I can go up to his room and find them.
That would be very helpful.
She will,
Yeah, I can accompany you, or
No, that's
if you
all
need
right.
help.
I'd prefer not to disturb his room more than need be.
She said before the knife slipped into her back as she was climbing the stairs.
Nobody says no to me, bitch. Frida whispers in her ear, plunging the knife deeper. Oh
The
boy.
plot thickens.
Gosh. Alright, so several minutes later she will return with a small stack of maybe like 20 papers and hand them over. All of them appear to be addressed to a young woman named Orla. And they describe in great detail her fiery red hair and her dusky skin and her sumptuous figure and various other progressively more lustful comments about her body.
Was he writing poems or
Right.
porn? God.
What's the difference?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Okay, that's the thing. From date, that means go from the oldest, and then really just sort them from the oldest to the newest, and then just see the escalation or
Oh yeah, there's an
generation.
escalation, all right, from just describing her beauty to like the last poem was describing like her luscious heaving breasts in great detail. You don't get the impression that they consummated any sort of relationship, but he was definitely in lust, if not in love. And also by the fact that she has these poems, you don't think he actually sent any of them.
He got denied from all his tit submissions.
Interesting. Where would Orla be found?
I would say, hang on, let's not try and find this person. Not just
No,
yet.
but locations is always to keep in mind.
I believe they met at the barley burrow. It was was my brother's favorite little watering hole. I'm afraid I don't know where she lived. I never met her myself. Just heard my brother talking about it.
And then Hedrah makes out the circle that you used before. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong here. Everything is within
You're not wrong.
perspective distance.
Even if you have to
Perspective
make,
distance.
even if you have to make it right.
Well, it's just coincidence. It's just coincidence. Don't worry. But okay, so. Yeah, well. Where Sansa's family works. Interesting. Have
Actually,
you...
Frida, why don't you make me a an intelligence check, just for reasons.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow... Wait, I have inspiration left? No? I blew one on a...
You've used 2 today already.
Yes. And I passed on the one I had, so... Anyway, I got some inspiration to, like, borrow.
Alright, I mean, yeah, sure.
Oh, thank you.
Owned.
Wow.
Word is still very safe and sorry.
Yeah.
Alright, so,
Oh, that's so good.
we're leading, obviously thinks that this, Orla lady is some, prim and proper young noble woman from here in the High Terrace. Frida, you spent the last evening in the Barley Burrow. You're fairly certain you, like, just in passing, bumped into a woman named Orla. She's a red-haired cat girl working upstairs at the establishment.
Okay. I won't mention this. It's like, okay. Oh, he seems to be very affectionate about this girl.
Yes, the way he was talking, I was sure any day now he'd bring her home, but alas. She sighs heavily and wraps her arms around herself. Oh, Fergus.
Why do you have to go get yourself murdered?
I wonder if this Orla
Watching a
woman will be
goddamn football commercial.
I wonder if any of the other people...
Do you see how your microphone is picking up whatever the fuck you're watching?
Oh my god, this piece of shit!
Okay. What were you saying, Keen, about?
Just thinking, nothing. Just thinking maybe, hopefully, when we investigate some of the other people who have disappeared, they'll also mention this woman.
We'll see.
I mean, if
We'll
even
see.
one other mentions her, then it's just like, well, okay, you're our prime suspect
We have a
now.
tie-in. No, we have a tie-in.
Tie-in, whatever.
It's not. Yes, because a prime somebody that is suspected of something has to have a more, well, to be suspected of being capable of pulling it off. The thing is, though, so many places, and then, bam, nothing. And there were no happy endings, and there was no struggle. So they were killed flawlessly. That's the thing.
Flawless victory.
No struggle, no nothing. And then they got their image scooped out.
Yep.
So we could be just Jack the fucking Ripper female version, but
Could be.
search tools are available, but those are actually pretty expensive.
Is Jack the Ripper a thing in this world?
I mean, no, that character is a character from, London.
Figured.
So, like, the individual Jack the Ripper definitely does not exist here.
But the method, it's a terminology.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Okay. Do you happen to have taken in servants recently?
No, not here on the estate. My brother's ship takes on new crewmen nearly every time it makes port, but I've taken on no new house servants.
Nobody has been filling in. No different people they meet.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
And they're very comfortable being servants and know what's going on all around in the house, correct?
Well, I should hope so. Many of the servants here have been with us since my brother and I were children. My old nurse still works here, in fact. I've heard no voices of discontent from our staff.
No, but here there is a saying that the simplest folks are the ones that go unseen. But they're also the ones that know the most.
Would you mind if we talked to them?
Of course not. Lunch will be served very soon. Please join us, and I can have the servants gather for you.
Wonderful.
She will give you a slight bow and say, You do us a great honor dining with us, my lady.
Oh, it's nothing. I just want to find out what happened to your brother and stop it from happening again.
Alright, so as the three of you prepare to dine with Lead and Kane, Kreshia, we're gonna jump back to you as our last little vignette for the night.
Sure thing.
Oh, your voice though?
It's fine, don't worry about it. It'll warm back up again.
Drink
I found
water.
it. Yeah. If I'm quiet for any period of time, then my voice shits out on me again.
Alright, so
A moment.
you are called into the Grand Sage's office, such as it is. A
Yep.
little cubby off to one side of a library wing. He will offer you a seat, of course, and fold his arms into his robe and say, "It's good of you to come, Princess."
It's my pleasure. I see you've expanded the selection I noticed on my way in. Interesting group of bits and pieces you got there.
Ah, yes. One of our more wealthy students thought it would be rather funny to order a large collection of, what did he call them? Joke books.
Ah, well, such is the price of learning. A laugh isn't too untoward after all.
Yes, though there's quite a few more unclad women in our books now. And I suppose some students are quite alright with that.
Of course. I mean, so long as they aren't being too alright with that in the library.
Yes, but we're here to discuss more grim business, this necromancer.
Yes, here is a picture of him, drawn by the Faun barge you probably saw earlier.
Ah, yes.
She will slide the image over. Now, he said his name at the time, and Player Me can't remember, but Player Me does not have the intelligence score of the Bork.
I don't know, Skow pretty smart. But the name was Ferric, and he will mumble the name again as he, looks over the page. Damn, I was hoping that wouldn't be the case, but...
So you are familiar with him?
Quite familiar. Ferric here used to be a a rather outspoken lecturer here at Briarmount. He would hold conferences and give quite long and detailed lectures almost every day for years, as soon as we reopened the doors till just over a year ago when this happened to him. He'll tap the burnt face. That young apprentice we mentioned, Kasner, Annika.
Yes.
I mentioned she hurt several students, didn't I?
Ah, she is responsible then for Ferric's injuries.
Yes, Kasner caused quite a bad fire. Ferric just stayed behind to get the rest of the students out of that part of the library. That part of it collapsed on him. We dug him out, the benefit of having so many mages in one place, but the damage had been done.
I'm frown a bit. And again, another strange magical coincidence. It's a reference that's it's been made in jest before by Marcus, the human who just sort of ended up in our lap, that we seem to start finding ourselves at the nexus of these seemingly related events.
Destiny.
Yes, well, that pulse of magic we all felt.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
done
sorry about
strange things as well, as you know. Some compasses have started spinning in circles, and other phenomenon. It wouldn't surprise me if the strands of fate have become unwound or wound too tightly.
Indeed. I've got something I would like to show you. And I'm going to make an intelligence test because I don't know how good Kreshia would actually have been at copying what was effectively that dragon's rubbings of the old original writing that was around the throne.
Mm-hmm.
But she'll take a crack at it. Would that be intelligence or would it actually be arcana?
Intelligence.
Okay. And I'll spend inspiration. Fucking fuck
Womp,
off.
womp, womp.
No, well, thanks, inspiration.
You
That was
doodled.
good. Yeah, nice to look over it. Forget it, that's no good. Regardless, it's a really, really old language, and there's been a hunt for a place that's been hidden for a very, very long time.
I have to go help my cousin. Her car just got towed despite her not even being parked for over 30 minutes.
Joy.
Wow.
Yeah, damn it, I hate this fucking parking. I'll probably not be back after EXP.
Okay,
long
I'll
is this
post it
gonna
in
take?
chat for everybody.
Okay.
Have a good one, DCL.
I'm not.
I know, but try to anyway.
Alright. Sorry to you guys a little bit.
Yeah. But yes, it was regarded to be the soul-wrought throne. In a language older than, well, I forget what timeline he gave me. Something incredibly old, regardless. Older than he, and he was a dragon.
Well, most dragons these days are actually rather young, you see. 50 years ago, and he just carries on for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, Kreshia will pause him on that matter. He's from a little bit not local, I suppose is the best way to put it. He's got that advantage on him at the very least. But, yeah, what was the name of that city? I've fucking
Ilona.
forgotten it.
It's also in the quest log.
Yep. Yes, he's been looking for a way into that. Something that, again, might have changed in the seating of the Soul-Wrought Throne. I still don't know exactly what it is that it can accomplish, but I do know that the very last time I sat in it, it ripped a memory away from me. So it's pretty high stakes.
Did it give you anything in return?
No.
Dangerous relic, then.
Dangerous indeed. I mean, you already gave me plenty, I suppose, but rather mundane in nature. So this injury, how does it drive Ferric to madness and necromancy then?
That I'm afraid I can't tell you. He actually seemed quite all right after it happened. Indeed, he continued to be friends with young Annika until, well, she was expelled and Ferric left shortly thereafter. I'm afraid I don't know what's happened to him since, but...
Interesting. I wonder then if he actually has ties to the late Miss Kessner. Powerful enough in her own right, she's still a ghost after all.
Did you tell him about that previously?
Nope. She's
Okay.
gonna gauge him
And
for
yeah,
a
he'll,
reaction,
like,
see if he treats
eye-wide.
it like normal.
Huh.
Yeah,
Well,
so
and
she
I
was
suppose they
very,
have
like,
said
sea
old
Annika.
wizards don't die. We just fade away or become horrible abominations.
Yes, the years haven't been kind to her appearance-wise, but she's a very interesting individual. Very proud. I think she wanted to have sex with Zanza. Shakes her head, I think.
Fascinating.
She was an Amazon. I think they've got a thing for fuckboys.
He'll snicker at that and say, yes, well, I suppose a male Taeleer qualifies as that.
Yeah, very much so. What she has is an awful lot of old and interesting magics, something that she'd be willing to share at least some measure of, assuming that she had an apprentice to carry her family's name on. Hence my trying to find Annika in the first place. She didn't really know the end result of her family lines missing. And now I'm hoping that locating Annika might be a clue into Ferric, where he might even be. Indeed,
It's
we've
possible.
destroyed one of his apprentices.
Oh dear,
Look
I
for
do
you
hope
one.
Annika hasn't fallen to the dark arts.
Exactly. It might be in our interest to pick her up before he goes looking for his replacement.
Oh dear.
Yep.
Yes, that would be wise. Wise indeed. Pains me to see mages turning to these abominations. We are better than this, you and I, you know. We're more than the temptations our powers give us.
Yeah, I feel like being a princess leaves me a lot of grounds to be grounded, I guess. Undergrounded, so to speak. I mean, it's not like I wanted for anything. That's the main issue. You know, magic is, of course, totally a route to power, but if you're really after something, even magic isn't going to get you there unless you're taking shortcuts.
Very true, very true.
Yeah. She'll shrug helplessly. But yes, I don't know if you do anything in the ways of storing artifacts, things that might help for seeking and locating or anything along those lines. The Tome Knights are going to essentially keep some of their agents abreast for Ferric and hopefully try and catch him if he's moving around in disguise or anything. But as far as it is, I don't know what else to suggest. Is there any way that you guys could attempt to scrying?
Yes, now knowing that it is for certain Ferric, I could attempt to locate him. I am a diviner, after all.
Do you think, I mean, he is a necromancer, did he have an eye in for protections from divination himself?
Well, all mages after a certain part of our lives start to accumulate such things, keep away prying eyes of our rivals. It's possible he has some defense against it, but I may be able to get at least a general idea of what he's up to and where.
And I mean, you have got access to a whole marble of Residium. I imagine a grain of it might be necessary to essentially empower some kind of scrying to pierce the veil. A costly use for it, no less, but at the same time, it might do you some favors in getting rid of him. I don't know what else to suggest otherwise. I don't have anything for popping scrying. Although I guess I am adept enough at researching magic, I'm definitely in the combat applications of it.
Well, I can't say that I've never wanted to imbibe a grain of Residium and see what the mages of old experienced.
Just don't forget to, cut it with obviously a large bump of cocaine. And no, that's a joke. Don't do that.
He looks around, just like scratches at his nose. Yes, a joke, of course.
They both shift the eyes and rub their noses. No one would ever do that. That sounds dangerous and irresponsible.
So, hypothetically, Kreshia, if the Grand Sage offered you a line...
She'd have to decline just because she's kind of on the job, as it were.
Alright, so you see the Grand Sage just sort of, scratching at one of his pockets and sort of shaking his head.
Be my guest. I'm good. I've got to bounce and to tend to many details. I have a sneaking suspicion that our fuckboy Taeleer companion is currently out just doing a terrible job of being bait.
Yes, and I have a summons to the palace, so I suppose I also should depart.
Mean. She will get up from her chair, offer a hand.
Alright, he will give you a firm handshake, surprisingly strong for his age, before he begins shuffling on out.
Of course, he uses a rich moisturizer, but he has one palm softer than the other. It's very curious. And these new books in the library, they're very, very interesting, you'll see.
Yes, ride the lightning!
Just do cocaine and jerk off to sweet Amazon pornography.
That's how you succeed at life as a wizard. It's true.
Yep.
Alright, so Kreshia, your next stop is to reinforce Zanza and your daughter?
With Air, essentially, it's just to go find somewhere nice to redo the ritual and probably get lunch. You'd like to check out the Barley Burrow and mostly just to tease Zanza about one of his sisters.
Okay, alright, so you're off to the burrow. Zanza and Sierra are trying to be bait, and Mary, Marcus, and Frida are going to interview House Kane's servants. And on that note, I think we'll call it for the day. So let's do that whole EXP thing.
I'm a big fan of that EXP thing.
Yeah, I hear people enjoy experience.
To a point, and then you become too powerful and the game sucks, but...
Yes.
Till then.
Until that happens. So, did you explore a new or interesting location for the first time?
The library, I suppose.
Yeah, you guys have been all over Briarmount and whatnot. Did you discover a new and interesting truth about the world?
A fucking bunch. Like the Death Manifesto.
Yeah.
Being a language of ancient Elvish. We also, learned the identity of Ferric.
Yeah, I think that's the big qualifier there. Alright, did you make a new ally or lasting enemy?
We spent a lot of time with the Grand Sage and the Tome Knight. Do you think that they would consider us allies now?
I think when you complete their quests, they probably will, but for now, I mean, they're in some ways subservient to you to begin with, being princesses, but outside of that, no, I don't think so yet.
Okay.
But did you advance or complete a quest? Pretty obviously, yes. And you did not neutralize a direct threat to the Queen's peace yet, though this murderer will certainly count when you do that.
Yay!
So let's have everyone get 3 experience points. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Sounds good to me.
Whoop. Alright, good stuff, everybody.
6 more.